Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors and no payments, no interest for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See local showroom for details. Offer ends August 31st, 2026.
Did you know Skechers makes high-performance footwear for almost every sport you play? Here's what our athletes are saying.
Hi, I'm pro basketball player OG Anunoby. I dominate in Skechers basketball. Skechers delivers championship-level performance.
I'm WNBA star Jackie Young. Skechers keeps me quick, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And you can get high-performance Skechers and hands-free slip-ins technology. Just step in and perform.
I'm pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick. I play in hands-free Skechers golf slip-ins.
Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or whatever high-performance sports shoes are sold.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Fall is the perfect time to refresh and reorganize your space. At the Home Depot, find power tools and tool sets starting at $50 to help tackle DIY projects, home updates, and more. Whether you're drilling brackets to support new shelving or sharpening your hedge trimmer blade with an angle grinder, the Home Depot has the tools you need to check projects off your list. Shop Labor Day savings at the Home Depot and gear up for fall projects with the right tools to keep your projects moving.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A good karma sports radio station. This is Carlin.
You know I am not that bright.
On ESPN New York.
Fat, bald, nasally, I got it.
And streaming live on YouTube.
You're welcome. Welcome to Monday, Carlin. ESPN New York, ESPN New York YouTube channel at 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I don't change much of my opinions off of what I saw this weekend, even though much of it was good. We want you to be a part of the program over at the ESPN New York YouTube channel. You should do that. You should go and leave your comments in the chat, and we will get them involved. It is the quickest way, the most efficient way for you to be a part of the program. Also, those phone lines are opening shortly at 800-919-3776. Plenty off the football this weekend. Odell made the Giants. Woohoo! That's a big deal. That really does not mean a whole lot to me. The Jet situation means a little bit more to me. We will discuss that in short order, but we begin with the Yankees and the Red Sox. And I said before the weekend that beating the Red Sox in this series would really not do a whole lot for me. And frankly, that's pretty much how I feel today. I don't feel like I really now have such a huge advantage over them going into the postseason. Now, two things happen. Number one, we widen that gap to north of 4 games, and that certainly feels good. Number two, you saw the Yankees clinch the tiebreaker over the Red Sox, which means if they end up tied, that series will be played in New York and not Boston. And that's something that you would certainly prefer. Nothing of what I saw this weekend, like 16-1. First of all, Red Sox, stop bitching and moaning, please, about the catch, non-catch. That is, here's the thing. Don't go give up 10 runs right after that. How about that? Maybe just don't fold up for the rest of the day as you did. That had nothing to do with why you lose a game 16-1 or why it's 9-1 in the blink of an eye and 5-0 not that far thereafter. Come on, guys. Like, seriously, stop. Number two, coming out of it, it was nice to see them beat the Red Sox for a series and to know that you could, but you kind of knew that already, didn't you? Because if you didn't, what were we watching? What were we paying attention to? The Red Sox are a good team, but the Red Sox are not the Yankees. They're not as good as the Yankees. They're just not. And I would even continue to believe that even though the Rays have a 4-game lead, or 4.5, I think it is now, in the division over the Yankees, that the Rays are not as good of a team, as totally constructed that you would believe in them to beat the Yankees. In no instance would the Rays be favored in a series against the Yankees. In no instance would the Red Sox be favored in a series against the Yankees. It's just not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is that the Yankee pitching is entirely too good. He hadn't been good for a lot of the second half, but even Will Warren found a way yesterday, who was just flat out dominant through the course of the game. And listen, great. Another addition to the Yankee bullpen in the postseason that will help immensely. The expectations don't change. The hopes don't change. Are hopes and expectations the same thing at this point? Frankly, they probably should be. You might think this is unfair. I don't really care. I see games like what happened when you win 1-0 Friday night. I see games like what happened in the first game on Saturday when you get shut out. I understand what the problems are for the Yankees. They're not big enough problems to prevent them from getting to the World Series. They're not. Even without Judge. And without Judge at this point, we're all operating under the assumption that he will be back, not on this road trip, maybe on the next homestand, which is between the 8th and the 13th. So that second week of September, you would hope that he is back. But if he's not, I don't change any of what my expectations for the Yankees are. There's enough there. The one thing I don't need to do is to bring variables into this. And that's what bothered me a little bit yesterday. You guys, you understand that I have really had very little use for Jazz Chisholm, the player, over the second half of this season. I feel like he's disengaged some of the time. I feel like defensively he just is not locked in when he needs to be. I don't think there are plenty of times where he just doesn't have good at bats. And the idea that you can be a major league player and routinely get picked off the way he does, that's going to bother me, because you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. And you know what happened yesterday? Jazz Chisholm didn't pay attention. This, in the game, a 7-1 game.
Chisholm's doing it again.
By the way,
this is what he does.
Look, you're up 6. It's the 8th. The team is electing not to hold you on. That's the white flag, right? And normally in that situation, you don't run. You don't run.
Wouldn't you sort of like to see Moran drill Wells right here? Infield's coming in.
That's selfish play, right? That's just padding your stats.
Well, he's a Bush League
But guess
player.
what? I mean,
it's not even a steal.
Well, a couple of things here. That's Will Fleming and Will Middlebrooks on the Red Sox radio call. First of all, calling for him to be drilled, you don't do it publicly at the very least. As a broadcaster, that was pretty stupid. Secondly, if you're going to complain about Jazz doing that, you're well within your rights, because it's dumb. And that's an instance of Jazz not understanding what's going on. It's the 8th inning. Why are you stealing bases up 7-1? Why are you stealing bases up 7-1? I don't understand what you're thinking about. No, he's not. Not in the 8th inning. Come on.
It's 7-1. It's Major League Baseball. We're not playing Little League. How is this a big deal?
The Yankees had, at that instance, the Red Sox had kind of backed off. They weren't holding the runner on. That's a dumb thing to do. Here's the point, Tom. For it to even be debatable at this point, which it's not, it's dumb in the moment for a guy not to understand that situation. and it clearly annoyed the Red Sox. I don't need to do anything that's going to make me wake them up. That is a dumb thing to do.
Wake them up? Are you kidding me? This is their biggest rival.
No,
they're in a race.
Tom.
No.
We're talking about when you're going to be facing them in the playoffs.
Who cares? You got to beat them now.
You don't think this is going to sit with the Red Sox?
It can sit with them all they want. It doesn't matter. They had to win the season series. You had to decimate them. If he stole up 12-1 or 16-1,
no,
I would have no
Tom.
problem with that.
Absolutely not. And this is why the Red Sox were complaining about it. And my point is, even if you're Jazz, use your head. Because if it's something that could even be construed the wrong way, it's going to do something that's going to catch their attention.
You know, guess what? Tough luck.
Well, Tom, you're saying that as a Yankee fan. If they were doing it to you, it would be the same thing. And you'd be like, oh, you know what? We'll remember that. Okay, we'll remember that. And the problem is, when you are Jazz Chisholm and you do stupid things like this, it does not help. And you hurt. I'm really coming around to the idea that Chisholm is doing more to hurt the Yankees than to help them in many instances. And I am in no way endorsing what they, well, frankly, continued to say.
I don't know what else you need to hear. The 3-2 is drilled into right field. It is way back, and it is gone. And Moran should fight Chisholm. He's walking toward the third base line, staring at him there. Chisholm trots home. It's a 2-run homer, and it's 9-1. Well, it's as if we needed a little extra vinegar for what feels like an inevitable postseason series. There it is. It's 9-1 New York. Chisholm, I'm going to say it, he plays the game the wrong way.
Will Fleming, in saying what he's saying, he should go fight him. I mean, there's just dumb things to say as a broadcaster, okay? There are dumb things to say as a broadcaster, but there are dumb things to do as a player. And if you don't think that stuff catches the attention of the opponent, there is no reason whatsoever to do that. None. And the Red Sox are basically, in that moment, giving you a little bit of defensive indifference. 7-1 in the 8th inning. I understand it's a major league game. I understand that they could come back. I understand all of that. I don't care. It's a dumb play, and you are angering the other team. And I'll guarantee you this. Aaron Boone absolutely said something to him about it. Absolutely said something to him about it. And that something was probably along the lines of, what the hell are you doing? Could you actually have a clue about what's going on here? This has been, as much as I talk about the Yankees, and they are a better team than the Red Sox, and I expect them to beat them, I don't need to give anybody else a reason. It's stupid in that moment. And here they come. You guys want to start to line up about how this is a bad take? Please, go ahead. This is incredibly dumb. Incredibly dumb in the moment. You have to be better than this. Do you think there are guys on their team? What do you think Aaron Judge thought about that in the moment? Aaron Judge thought, what the hell are we doing? What are you doing? That is just flat out dumb. Be smarter. Don't think for a moment that the other team is not paying attention to this and that they don't store that away and give them a little bit more juice. You just beat them 3 out of 4. You just pounded them yesterday. And in that moment, get out of there with the win and don't do anything that's going to give them any reason to have any extra juice. None. None. And if you're the Red Sox and you want to say that you should have drilled him in that spot, listen, they obviously didn't think enough of it to do anything about it in the moment. They thought enough of it that they'll hold on to it, I'm sure. I just think this was dumb. I think Jazz Chisholm so many times when you watch him play, so many times, gets them in situations that don't really help. Whether it's his own thing where he'll get picked off in spots where he shouldn't, or he'll make dumb mistakes in the field, or whether it's something like that. That was completely unnecessary in the moment. 800-919-3776. I can see already that I've touched a nerve here. So if you want to get into this, I'm fine. We can get into this. But just know in advance you're wrong. 800-919-3776. Let's begin with Tony in Dobbs Ferry on ESPN New York. Tony, what's up, buddy?
Chris, this is probably the worst take you've ever had on New York radio, okay? This is the Boston Red Sox. We're fighting for a wild card position, the number 1 seed in the wild card.
Oh, we're scrapping and clawing. Oh, my God.
Chris, we're up 6 runs. Is that an insurmountable lead?
In the 8th inning, you do not steal up 6 runs.
Lead?
Insurmountable?
That's
No.
what I want to know.
What do you think? Let's go by your stupid FPI. What do you think the chances were up 6 runs in the 8th inning of the Yankees winning the game?
It's not 17-1.
It's about 99%. 99%.
Chris, do yourself a favor. Walk this back.
No,
because it's not gonna age well for you.
Oh, please! What's gonna happen, Tony?
Badly. It's been 16 minutes.
Seriously, what's gonna happen that I'm gonna be so wrong about this? That it was stupid for Jazz Chisholm to steal up 6 runs when it clearly aggravated the opponent, and I guarantee
Chris,
that behind the scenes, Aaron Boone
Sox
says
Yankees,
something
man.
to him. What?
Chris, I guarantee you he didn't. This is Red Sox Yankees. We already hate each other.
Really?
You're born with it.
Really?
If you come up to the majors.
Boy, Tony,
yeah.
I tell you what, there has not been the vinegar to this series, as Will Fleming put it, or the juice. I was begging to have some of this from last week. This is nowhere. This is not in the ballpark of what Yankees Red Sox used to be. Please stop. Stop. Yankees Red Sox, you know how many people from Boston can get into Yankee Stadium now? That never used to be a thing. Now I got people the other night complaining that there were way too many Red Sox fans in the building. It's a 6-run lead in the 8th inning. Let me just type it into, maybe we can make AI good for something. You know, maybe we can get something that's actually helpful from AI as opposed to wrong information at times, and the fact that they're going to take all of our jobs. Up 6 runs, 8th inning. Chance of winning the game. I got to type it on the screen because my keyboard's not working. Come on. Here it is. AI! Tom! Google Gemini! Go check the price of Google today and tell me if those guys know what they're talking about. You know what the chances are of you winning a game up 6 runs in the 8th inning?
What's that?
99%!
Guess what? That's not 100%.
Stop it. This is where you and all your fraudulent little Yankee fans who grew up with nothing but the last 15 years don't understand about this game. There are still the old school people that get annoyed by it, and it gets carried into, it's not old school people like old people. Aaron Judge, I guarantee you, in that moment, saw Jazz Chisholm do that and say, what the hell are we doing?
No, I think he said, good job, kid. It's 6 runs.
No, he didn't.
It ain't over till it's over.
Tom, there's no way he did. There's no way he did.
Chris, I love you. This is possibly the worst take I've ever heard from you.
No, it's not. 6-run lead in the 8th inning. That is not what you do. That is not what you do. It's unnecessary. The Red Sox were just letting it go in the moment, and you're just going to take the base. That's dumb.
No, that's smart baseball. Put yourself in a better position to score.
No, it's not smart baseball, Tom. It's not. What this is about in the moment is Chisholm not using his head to think bigger picture of all of it. I don't need to do anything more. Do you feel like Yankees-Red Sox is the same hatred that maybe it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Do you feel like there's please, that last caller trying to sell me on the idea, it's Yankees-Red Sox, we already hate each other.
Because that still means something, though. It's a huge rivalry.
It might mean something, but in that moment, with a 7-1 lead in the 8th inning, you do not do that. Because all that does is wake up an opponent for later. All that does is add a little more juice, a little more gas in their tanks where you don't need that. And frankly, it's been a relatively even series, even throughout the course of the year when that game was for the tiebreaker. Stop.
Steal means nothing. If the Red Sox want to use, we just lost 16-1 as a rallying cry, you can go for it.
Well, they lost 16-1. They were down 9-1. And I'm the one that is sitting here telling you, for the Red Sox fans that are complaining about the call on the catch, shut up. Shut up.
That meant absolutely nothing.
Don't give up 9 runs after that. Don't give up a 5 spot right away after that. That's how you avoid that. That could have gone either way when you watch that play, and I had no problem with their not overturning it. None whatsoever. This is just about using your head in the moment.
He did. He put himself in a better position for his team to win.
You tell me that in a few weeks. You tell me that in a few weeks. There is no need to do it. And do you think that they're winning the game if he doesn't steal the base?
No, they still probably would have won the game.
Because it's a 99% chance that he's going to win the game.
And guess what? There's still that 1% chance that there's a fail.
Tom. It's not the way the game is played.
Okay,
this is not the old white guy just telling you that. This is the way that there is a respect level in the game. And this is the way it goes. 4-1? Absolutely. 5-1? Sure. When we start getting up 6 runs in the 8th inning, and they're backing off. They're not even holding the runner on, which is basically telling you, we're good. We're waving the white flag. We're getting out of here. And then you start taking advantage. Why don't you lay down a bunt too, Tom? How about that? Why don't you get them to lay down a bunt? I tell you, you'd be so aggravated if one of your precious Yankee pitchers was going for a no-hitter and a Red Sox player laid down a bunt. You'd be so annoyed by that.
That's completely different. That's an unwritten rule of baseball. Stealing a base up 6. This isn't Little League. They're not up 10 or more.
Tom, this is not different. You're laying down a bunt in that moment, it would annoy me too. And I'm not the get off my lawn guy. I'm telling you, I'm not wrong about this. Darren, Newark, he's next. Let's see what you have to say in this argument. Darren, what do you got?
Chris, good morning. As a guy that loves you, really loves you, your take on this is totally, totally wrong.
Why?
Let me tell you why. It's only 6 runs, Chris. We've seen many Red Sox Yankee games end up 10-9, 12-10. We've seen those games. I had no problem at all with Jazz. He annoys me at times. But what he did stealing that base did not bother me at all. And I think you're wrong. I think Judge and Aaron Boone probably said, good job, kid.
Well, there's no chance.
Good job.
Not when the Red Sox have backed off of holding him on the base. No.
I don't care. Did you hear what Michael Kay said when they did it? Michael Kay said, sleeping, caught him sleeping. They were sleeping. That's up to them. That's how they want to play baseball. That's not Yankees. I wanted them to pour it on. They swept us the last time we were in Boston, I believe. So I don't care.
You lost the 4-game set.
That's right. Lost the 4-game set. Get as many runs as you can, steal bases, do whatever you got to do. And I don't care if it puts something in their craw for when we meet them later on down the road. They were salty about that play with the catch that wasn't a catch. So they were salty about that anyway. So guess what? It don't matter. This is what we did. That's what Jazz did, and I'm glad he did it. Have a good day, Chris.
I'm glad you're glad. Let's talk in a few weeks. They're paying attention. I guess Lou Merlone said something on TV as well. We should probably get that, Tom, if we can. The Red Sox broadcaster Lou Merlone after he's stealing second and third. Like, it's use your head. That's not what you're supposed to do in that moment. You're supposed to know better than that. You're supposed to know better than that. I bet you out in Anaheim today, Boone gets asked about it. I don't believe he got asked about it yesterday. I haven't seen anything. Because all of the highlights or headlines that we have seen have basically been surrounded by the broadcast stuff. I haven't seen any comments from Boone, and I apologize if he did say something and I don't have it. But, boy, that was just not using your head in the moment. Please disagree with me all you want at 800-919-3776. Also on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Let's go. Get involved. Please, just hammer away. Do what you have to do. I'd love to hear from you. Carlin, ESPN New York.
Good Karma Sports is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with Good Karma Sports, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com.
Dave Portnoy here. Something big is coming. September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day. We're talking massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. Whatever you're betting, DraftKings Game Day has deals dropping all day long. One app, every sport. So mark the date, September 2nd, new season, new era, DraftKings Game Day. Get pumped.
Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers. Sign up with promo code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code WHSQ. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. 21 and over. New York only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promo. Limited time offer.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Heavy traffic out to Queens on the 59th Street Bridge, the Ed Koch 59th Street Bridge. Heavy out toward Long Island City. That looks to be an accident there in Queensboro Plaza area. The subways have got big delays, A, B, C, and D lines over the entire lines. That's all because of track repairs, at least through this afternoon. New Jersey Transit is back on or close in and out of New York's Penn Station. And up in Wallkill in Orange County, 17 westbound is closed west of I-84 because of a crash. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Strong communities are built in the places where life happens, where families build their lives, where students build their futures, where businesses create opportunity. Bloom Energy provides reliable power for the places communities depend on every day. From hospitals and college campuses to stores and factories, clean, quiet power that uses little water right where it's needed, so communities can keep moving forward. Bloom Energy, power America relies on.
I'll tell you, you guys are something. You guys are something. Honestly. Last thing I ever want to do is, if I'm the Yankees, do something stupid like that. And it might annoy them. I guess Lou Merlone said something on the TV broadcast as well. This stuff was from the radio broadcast. If these guys are saying something, that means people in that dugout are paying attention to it. There's nobody who is in the Red Sox dugout in that moment as they're backed off of holding the runner, and you go and you steal second and third, that's saying, no big deal. There's nobody in that locker room, in that dugout is saying that at all. And they are paying attention, I guarantee you. Frank and Syosset is next on ESPN New York. Hello, Frank.
Good morning, Chris. I'm not going to try to upset you even more, but I think you have a valid point, and there's two ways of looking at it. I've seen worse, Chris. Let me just put it this way. We've all seen worse. Whoever's paying attention to the Yankees all season long. Have you seen them steal bases and end innings with two out and attempt to steal bases and get called out and the inning's over? I've seen that. I've seen Garcia throw over to third base when McMahon wasn't covering third base. I've seen Cruz try to pick off a guy at second base and the ball goes into center field. During the Orioles series, when Orioles had runners on first and third, Wells tries to throw a guy out at second. They had the base runner on first, tries to take the bag at second. He succeeds. The runner on third comes home. Wells single-handedly hands them a run. So the Yankees can hurt themselves. They can hurt themselves. They got to play clean, smart baseball from here on out because these games are very important.
Listen, I don't disagree. It's not. I'm not even. This is going to sound strange, okay? Obviously, I want to see it down the stretch of the regular season, but I'm going to get more worked up by it if I continue to see it in the playoffs. Like it's weird. This time of year.
They're known for doing that.
No, Frank. Frank, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
In the postseason.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with any of it. Obviously, you need to see cleaner baseball down the stretch of the regular season. Otherwise, you're going to continue to make those mistakes in the postseason. I'm not saying I'm right when I say this in the least, okay? But there is a part of me that is feeling very much like I did down the stretch of the Knicks season. Like, God, just get me to the playoffs. Because that's very much what I feel like with the Yankees. I know a lot of people were so fired up over the fact that they took 3 out of 4 from Boston and they got the tiebreaker. Okay, good. I'm glad they got the tiebreaker on it. I'm glad they're up 4 games on Boston now, and it puts you in as good of a spot as you can be. I don't expect them to catch Tampa here. It puts them in as good of a spot as they could be in at this point that's realistic, which is you're going to have to play both of these teams, being Boston and Tampa, and you'd obviously rather be doing it at home in the first series. I think the Yankees are better than both. That's the thing. And that's why, like, with the Red Sox, when it has been a relatively close thing all season, like, I saw a stat today that the Yankees outscored the Red Sox 25-9 over the weekend. Really? It was 16-1 yesterday. Okay? They outscored them by 15 runs yesterday. So the rest of the weekend, it was a 1-run difference. Please stop. Please stop with meaningless statistics. That means nothing in the moment. Let's go. Al in Jersey next. ESPN New York. Al, what say you, buddy?
Chris, I may be one of the few, but I agree with you. And maybe because
That's because you have common sense, Al.
The first thing I thought about when I saw him steal second, I said, when he stole third, I'm like, he's about to get hit in the head the next time he comes out. No question. I mean, back in the day, the next guy coming up would have got sent the message. Taz probably might even get thrown at by the next team they play, not even the Red Sox.
Well, listen, that's why in the moment, and I don't advocate for this, okay, not in any way. That's why in the moment, a guy like Will Middlebrooks and Will Fleming are saying on the Red Sox broadcast, they should drill wells now. Because, and not only that, here's the thing that would bother, I don't know if it would bother Wells. He's still a very young player, comparatively speaking. But if I were Wells and I was coming to the plate and that moron just did that, I'm like, hey, you're getting me hurt. You're getting me potentially drilled.
What are you doing?
It was a moronic. I'm not calling him a moron. I take that back. It was a moronic move. Moronic.
Yeah.
Dumb.
And to your point, if they see them later, the Red Sox don't need any more juice than to replay this. Oh, they're going to come in really pumped.
And it's not that they wouldn't have been pumped to try to win in the playoffs anyway, okay? I'm not ignoring that whatsoever. What I'm saying is, in that moment, when they have backed off, when they have stepped back and are not holding the runners on, they are telling you, waving the white flag for the game. We're good. And then you just go and you steal second and you steal third. It's a jackass move. That's a jackass move in the moment. Absolutely silly. Let's get to, let's see here. Connor is in Scarsdale. He's next on ESPN New York. Connor, what's going on?
Hey, Chris. Listen, man, I disagree. I see where you're coming from, but I definitely disagree. I played baseball in college. With a high-intensity game like that, a series that's up in the air with a lot of implications, put it that way. 6-run game, I mean, that's bad on the Red Sox for taking their foot off the pedal. That's
all right, well, no offense. This is not college baseball. No offense. This is not college baseball. They're not playing with aluminum bats out there. There was a 99% chance they were winning the game, and the Red Sox had basically conceded that.
Yeah, but imagine they come back and win the game and Yankees took their foot off the throttle. I'd rather get crushed for playing a little too intense and maybe taking an extra base than have it be the other way around. I don't really care about
listen, Connor, that right there, Connor, I'll give you credit. That is the one argument that you could make to me that I'll put a little bit of stock in. I would rather be called overly aggressive than a guy that was just passive. But I even think in that moment, it's not even overly aggressive. Do you think that was anything more than Jazz? Do you think Jazz right there? Here's the other question for you. Think about this. I think Jazz right there in that moment is thinking, let me do everything I can to make sure that I get us into the best possible position to win the game? Or do you think Jazz in that moment is thinking, well, maybe we can pad the stats a little bit? Did they give him...
I'll give you that.
I'm going to go and look real quick to see if they actually credited him with his stolen base. I would think there was probably defensive indifference, but I got to go back and look because I do want to be... Oh, no. 2 stolen bases. Hey, Tom. Just are you happy that Jazz got to his 40th stolen base?
You know what? I am.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Remember he said he was going 50-50 before the year started? How's that working out?
Well, he's almost halfway there on one category. And you know what? He wouldn't be there if he didn't steal 2 bases against the Red Sox last night.
That was stupid. God, that was stupid.
It's not stupid.
Yes, it is. Tom, here's the problem with it. The Red Sox had backed off. And when I have not one but 2 broadcasters making mention of it, That says to me that the entire dugout is making mention of it. Here's Lou Merloni on Nesson talking about it.
This right here, I didn't know he was playing behind him. I thought he was keeping him close. I got a problem with that. 7-1 ball game. If I'm playing behind you, I'm telling you we're good. And then to take third base on the very next pitch, too, just to get to 40, that would upset me a little bit. If I'm keeping you close, I'm telling you we're in it, whatever. I'm good with you stealing a bag. But when I'm playing behind you and you steal a bag, and then you turn around and steal third in the very next pitch, like...
Yeah, bad form.
I thought Sogi was actually keeping him close, but he's playing behind him. You don't do that.
You know, guys, I hadn't even considered this, I'll admit it. Because I wanted to check with whether or not they were going to give him a defensive indifference or not when he took off. They didn't. But it was the 40th steal. It was the 40th steal of the year. Do you think Jazz was doing that to get the Yankees into better position to add on to a 7-1 lead? Or do you think Jazz was trying to get to the 40th steal? Be honest. What's he thinking about there? Is he thinking about stealing his 40th base? Or is he thinking about making sure that he's getting the Yankees into that right spot and let's add on to this lead even more? You know what he's doing. You know what he's doing. Carlin, ESPN New York, keep it coming, people, because you guys pay attention. Pay attention. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN, Carlin, ESPN New York.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
Football is almost back. You did the homework. Now put it to use where it counts. Join the Poly Market community where you can trade live in-game and exit when you want. See what other fans think, find the predictions you think they've got wrong, and take your position. Just download the Poly Market app and use promo code LINEBACKER. Deposit $10 and get $20 to trade instantly. 18 plus only. See Poly Market's terms of service for more information about restrictions and eligibility. The Poly Market app is an independent affiliate of Poly Market US and not CFTC regulated. Trading always involves risk. Complete loss can occur.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-684-2297. 800-684-2297. 800-684-2297.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
They built this station from the ground up. And now, for one afternoon, they're back together. Michael Kay and Don LaGreca, the two longest tenured voices in ESPN New York history, reunite for a special 2-hour broadcast celebrating 25 years of ESPN New York. 25 years. Two legends. One conversation you won't want to miss. Thursday, September 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Well, I tell you, I went back and looked again. Moran was clearly annoyed when he was stealing third because Jazz didn't even go. Jazz took a huge lead and then just took off when they're leaving him. And on the steal of second, Rutschman, didn't even get up, and they gave him a stolen base. That's catcher's indifference. What are you doing? That's a home scorer right there. I tell you, good for you, Jazz. You got your 40th stolen base, and you're going to get somebody else drilled. It's just as dumb as can be in the moment. As dumb as can be. All right, let's get to some of these takes coming in on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Cesar in Brazil is killing me. Cry, Carlin. It's the Sox. Come on. We have to be better than this. Listen, Cesar, move to Boston, Carlin. You're in the wrong about this. You're in the wrong city. It's not about Boston Yankees. If it had been the other way around, I'd be screaming about how the Red Sox are morons. And you'd be screaming about how they're wrong. You'd be screaming about how they're wrong doing it. Neither manager was asked about it postgame. I bet you somebody gets asked about it today. I bet you somebody gets asked about it today. Now, I don't know what Boone's going to do with it, but if you think nothing was said behind closed doors, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. John in Jersey, that's a Red Sox problem, Carlin, not the Yankees. It becomes a Yankees problem if somebody else gets hit in that moment, which didn't happen, but you want to risk that? You want to get somebody, if I'm Wells in that situation, I am not happy that he's doing that. I am not happy at all. Benji checking in. Carlin is right, Yankee fans. He's the one guy in the chat who's actually agreeing with me on this. Don't act like he isn't going to end up with 46 stolen bases regardless. Yeah, no, I get it. That's fine. Just answer me this question. Answer me this question. Tom, if you can take your pinstripe-colored glasses off for just a half a second and try to be objective in one moment.
Sure.
Answer me this question. Do you think in that spot the Jazz was trying to put the Yankees in the best spot possible to score more runs? Or do you think the Jazz was more focused on 40 stolen bases?
I'd probably say the situation. Meaning, there's no one covering third, so he probably saw, free base. And then he took that. Typically, in the moment, you might not be thinking about the long-term goal. You might just see something that's right in front of you and say, you know what, I got to take advantage of this.
So you think he was living in the moment, making sure I'm doing the right thing for my team? You're basically telling me he was doing the right thing for his team.
Yes, I believe that, and here's why. There's still a lot of season left where he could have gotten that 40th stolen base. He's going to get on base again. He would have more opportunities to do that down the stretch.
More opportunities, yes, but not like this because it was so easy and free.
And that's why he took the base.
Boy.
It just happened to be his 40th stolen base.
Jim, Pearl River, up next. Jim, how are things in Rockland today?
Hey, they're doing great, but you're putting a damper on it.
I'm ruining your day.
You remember 1978 when the Yankees
You know why?
Rated the
I'm
Boston-
53. I don't
Boston
remember the
Massacre.
moment of 1978. I was 6. Go ahead.
The Yankees swept 4 games in Boston to tie the series, to go on to have the Bucky and home run in Fenway.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And that's what we're looking at this year if the Yankees don't win that game.
Well,
You're
no,
looking at a
I mean,
much
the play.
tighter race.
If the Yankees don't win that game, it's a tiebreaker, so that the entirety of that series is now, that first round series is now at Yankee Stadium in case they end up in a tie.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you have to put your foot on the throat of your opponent. The Red Sox would have loved to have done that to the Yankees.
The Red Sox had backed off already. They were not holding him at first base. If you're not holding him at first base, there is a certain way you play the game. And other teams are going to get annoyed by that. You would be flipping out if they did that to you. You'd be annoyed as could be if they did that to you. And you wouldn't be making this argument, because you can't tell me that you would sell me on the fact that, oh, yeah, no, that doesn't bother me at all. Really? Yeah, it would. And guys, bigger picture, okay? Do you want Jazz Chisholm back next year? My guess is most of you say probably not. Most of you are thinking, like I am, that if Garcia can go out and play second base and actually sit down out in the field and has 2 cinder blocks on his hands, I'd rather have him playing the position than I would rather have Chisholm out there. The Yankees are not signing Chisholm after this season. I do not see that. Because there are just too many times where he's not using his head in these situations. And the mistakes that get made, getting picked off, moments like that drive you nuts, but that was about numbers. That was about Jazz Chisholm's numbers yesterday. If you think that was about Jazz sitting there on second base or on first base and saying, "Ooh, we're only up 6 runs. We're only up 6 here. The 8th inning. You know what? I better go and I better steal. I better go and steal the next 2 bases if they're going to let me do it, because, you know, we need to make sure we score as many as we can right now." After the home run by Wells, the Red Sox put in a position player to pitch the rest of the way. That's what happened. And yet somehow you think that they weren't giving up in that moment at 7-1. Not even giving up per se, but backing off of holding the runner. And that it bothers me even more that it's that particular guy. Because, you know, when Jazz got here, I was a fan of the move, but I've seen too many things along the way over the last, 2 years that just makes me think this guy doesn't get it. Boone had a problem with Chisholm having a lollipop in his mouth in the field. You think he didn't have a problem with that yesterday? Stupid. It was a stupid, stupid move, Brooks and Stanford. It was stupid. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Chris? I just don't think you like Jazz. I mean,
no, I don't like Jazz as a player. I want to be very clear about this, because if anybody else talks about how he is as a player, what else, like, this has nothing to do with any other aspect of Jazz Chisholm other than I see him make too many mistakes in too many crucial situations for him to not understand what that situation was, and you can get a teammate hurt.
Also, what is the difference? You tell me, what's the difference between they got the position player in and they're banging out home runs? What's the difference between stealing the base? Same thing.
That's different. When the guys, are you supposed to not swing? No, it's not the same thing. Are you supposed to not swing? Stealing base and swinging the bat are 2 different things.
I don't see it like that, but
you don't. Trust me when I tell you they do. okay? Because when they go up there to the plate, their job is to swing. And you can say, well, their job is to steal second in that spot. There are subtle differences, whether or not you want to admit it, in the game. They exist. And it's bothersome to some players. I absolutely bet you that bothered Aaron Judge and that bothered Boone. Among others, but specifically those two, I bet you it did. And whether or not it was Boone or Judge, I bet somebody said something about it. Now, neither of the managers were asked about it post-game yesterday. The headlines all came from what the broadcasters had to say. And I understand what the broadcasters are saying. What Lou Merlone said is completely fair. What Middlebrooks and Fleming are saying on the radio is just stupid. Let's go start a fight. That's dumb. But Will Fleming to say, start a fight and then or drill the next guy, the point is, he's saying that because that can happen. He shouldn't be advocating for it as he is. If I were on the other team, I'd be annoyed. And frankly, like if I were pitching and that guy's on the mound and that happens, Jazz goes and takes third and takes a massive lead and I have to step off and I'm clearly getting annoyed, I'm not advocating for it. If the pitcher did it, I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't know that I'd have a major problem with it as long as he's not trying to hit him in the head. Not advocating for it. But I wouldn't be human if I wouldn't tell you that in that moment, I would have been thinking about it myself too. As Bob Uecker said in Major League, Vaughn gives up the grand slam on opening day and drills the next batter. And what did Uecker say? About time, it's 8-0.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
ESPN New York and MSG Network are joining forces.
Big news, Jazz hands.
Start your mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg, live on the MSG Network. Then stick around for Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, live on MSG every afternoon.
We are beyond excited to start simulcasting on MSG Networks.
So think about this real quick second. You got us in the morning 6 to 10. You got our afternoon show 3 to 7. And then right after that, you're talking Knicks, you're talking Rangers.
Yo, yeah. You wake up, you pop it on again, and there we are, waiting for you. Good morning.
ESPN New York and MSG Network, together like never before. It all starts Tuesday, September 8th.
Hey, Yankees and Knicks fans. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, September 25th, and be ready to receive a very special giveaway. It's Josh Hart Yankees Bobblehead Night, presented by Delta Airlines. The first 18,000 guests will receive a Josh Hart Yankees bobblehead. Again, don't miss Josh Hart Yankees Bobblehead Night, presented by Delta Airlines, when the Yankees face the Orioles on Friday, September 25th. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey, girl. I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Fall is here, and the Home Depot has everything you need for an outdoor refresh. Start with quick gardening projects under $20, like bright mums, planters, and mulch that make your yard a standout. Power through leaf cleanup with the Ryobi 40-volt HP leaf blower from the Home Depot. Clear leaves from driveways, patios, and sidewalks with ease, so you can get back to enjoying the season. Whether it's a simple weekend DIY or a bigger backyard project, Labor Day savings help you do more for less at the Home Depot.
Beginning Tuesday, September 8th, watch DiPietro and Rothenberg and Hahn and Rosenberg live every day on the MSG Network. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. This is Carlin.
You know I am not that bright.
On ESPN New York.
Fat, bald, nasally, I got it.
And streaming live on YouTube.
You're welcome. Boy, you guys are something. I'll tell you, you are something. Pay attention. Understand the moment in a situation, and understand all this does is hurt you in the long haul. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I am reading up and down this ESPN New York chat. And as many of you that don't have problems with this, I'm just blown away by it. Blown away that you are sitting there in your Yankee bubble not wanting to acknowledge that Jazz made a mistake here. Get involved over on the ESPN New York YouTube chat. Jazz is not a Yankee, but Yankee fans are so thirsty. That from Benji. He agreed with me earlier. Something television crying about a stolen base. Get the hell over it. We're in a pennant race. F the Red Sox. I get that part of it. I get the blank the Red Sox. I don't want to give them any more fuel. Here's what you do. Here's what the difference is, guys. The difference is you just beat the crap out of them yesterday. You make them leave town a little bit dejected. But what you did was you gave them a little something on the way out the door. You gave them a little juice and a little reason to hang on to some extra hostility. Now, personally, in the grand scheme of Yankees-Red Sox, this series needs it. Because I have not felt the juice for Yankees-Red Sox that we used to, and I loved the mid-2000s Yankees-Red Sox. And I'm not even talking 1978. I'm talking about A-Rod. I'm talking about Pedro. I miss that so much. I was at Game 7 in 03, the Aaron Boone game. I have never been at a more electric atmosphere than when the Yankees came back and tied that game. With Matsui and Giambi and the job that Messina did, first and third, nobody out. That was an unbelievable night at Yankee Stadium. Unbelievable. I would love to see that juice back in it. Now, too many Red Sox fans can get in the building, but right now, the one guy that has consistently gotten criticized by fans this year for making dumb mistakes, you guys all run to have his back. For stealing second and third in that moment and not even wasting time. Just stepping off the bag and taking off. Oh, my God.
On into his motion and the pitch. Oh! About time. It's 8-0.
Exactly. Let's go. 800-919-3776. Patrick is in Astoria. He's on ESPN New York. Patrick, how are you?
What's up, Chris? I got a couple of things for you. Number one, I'm going to mostly agree with you. I don't think that's the right time that you're doing it. I'm at the game yesterday. When I see him steal second, I kind of raised my eyebrows, and I was like, oh, that's a little curious. Then he does it, I think, on the next pitch, maybe two pitches later, and he steals third, and I'm like, I said it to who I was sitting there.
I think it was the next pitch.
I wouldn't dig in too much if I'm lost.
I'll double check it. I'm pretty sure it was the next pitch.
I think it was. So then, the Wells home run, and then I say, if I'm Goldschmidt, I'm really not digging in. So I wasn't surprised to hear the take from the Boston radio guys that they were kind of saying, oh, this guy, maybe he's going to get thrown at or something. Not that I'm saying it's the right thing to do, but it wouldn't have surprised me. Now, on your part about Chisholm, where his head's at, I think he's 100% thinking, hey, I got a chance to get to 40 today. I don't think he's thinking, let me
of course
get
he
closer
is.
to scoring position or anything. Yeah, 100%.
Of course he is. Let's see here. I'm looking at it. I only have the play-by-play here at the moment. I don't have the pitch-by-pitch. But at that moment, 7-1, you got to be smarter. And he's 100% thinking about how he can get his 40th stolen base in that moment. I thought on MLB.com they had the pitch-by-pitch. Let me check ESPN.com. I'm pretty sure they have the pitch-by-pitch. I think it was the next pitch that he took off and went to third. I believe it was. Now I got to know. Because as Jazz did this, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, he has been around long enough to understand that that's just not a smart play on his part. And you can't tell me that Aaron Boone, who had a problem with Jazz having a lollipop in his mouth. I'm normally the guy, I love the bat flips. Celebrate the bat flips. But I'll also, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, and I don't like to do this very often, but in the moment, I will tell you this. Batista for the Blue Jays, when he hit that home run against Texas in the playoffs and threw his bat basically into the second deck. The next year, Texas came back at the end of the season, waited until the very last game, and drills Batista. He goes into second hard and tries to take out Rougned Odor, and that's when Odor decked him. In the moment, I was happy about it. Was it the next pitch, Tom? You sent me the pitch by pitch?
So it's showing on ESPN. It looks like there was the ball one. He was still on first base, it looks like. And then somewhere around the fourth pitch of the at-bat, he was on third base.
He took off. All right, so let's see here. Bottom eighth. Chisholm walked. It doesn't show his steal of second on the pitch-by-pitch that I have.
It does not show that either on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't show it. I thought it was the next pitch. If it was, put it this way. I don't think he waited 3 or 4 pitches, if I'm not mistaken. And naturally, for whatever reason, I can't get back in to my MLB.com account right now and watch it again. I'll try to go back because here's the big problem with it. You're up 7-1 in the 8th inning. The Red Sox are trying to get out of there. They're just trying to wrap it up and hit the road. Okay? They're trying to get through the inning. Chisholm walks to start the inning. The Red Sox aren't even holding him on first base. Aren't even holding him on. And that's what you decide to do. You have to know better. You have to know better in the situation. Because when you're already in that hole and you're down 7-1, and they are indicating by not holding the runner, we're good here, we're just trying to get out of here and wrap this up, and he just goes and takes second and third. Watch Adley Rutschman's response to it. Adley Rutschman, in the moment, as Chisholm is trying to steal second base. Okay? As Chisholm is trying to steal second base, Rutschman didn't even flinch when the ball came in. And then he takes off for third. A pitch or two later, I'll say, but I'll go back and double check it. It wasn't long after that. And I think it was the next pitch. Moran then tries to step off and get him at third, but it's obviously too late because he's just taken off. And now I have people like I want to get to Jason in Saratoga Springs here because he's going to make a point here that I'm going to tell you why it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. I'll explain why in a second. I'm not gonna scream at you. I promise, but I'll explain why I don't agree with you from what I see on the screen. Go ahead.
Well, first off, I am not a Jazz apologist. I think he's done plenty of bonehead things, and I don't know that I would have stolen in that situation either. But the immediate reaction of the Red Sox after he stole third was they moved the infield in.
Why do you think they did that?
That's not. Well, they're not conceding the game if they move the infield.
No. They moved the infield in. Said, okay, this jackass wants to steal second and third. We'll come and cut him down at the plate. That's the point they were making. That's the point they were making.
First, you don't know that. And second, it was so they had a 6-run lead at the time. They had already scored 5 runs in one inning that game. So, it's possible for the Red Sox to have an inning where they score that many runs. Again, like I said, I don't think that it's something I would do. But also, who cares about how the Red Sox feel? Even if they plunk somebody, you're putting somebody on. Even if that happens in the playoffs and they decide they want to retaliate.
Hang on a second. What if they hit somebody? What if they hit somebody in the hand, and that guy, whoever it is, misses time? What if that happens?
Well, yeah, obviously that's terrible. And if you're trying to hurt somebody, that's a rotten thing to do.
I mean, I'll put it another way. But Jason, here's the thing. It's not even if you're throwing up and in. I'm not even saying the Red Sox would throw at his head. Maybe they just throw it right at his butt because that's the way to do it. But he throws up and in, and he hits Wells on the hand. And you might think, well, it's Wells. Hey, listen, you're still out your starting catcher if Wells hurts his hand for a couple of weeks because he got drilled in the moment by Moran. That's why it's dumb. That's why it's dumb. And as far as the argument that they're bringing the infield in at that point, that is, okay, it's a 7-1 game, and this guy is going to steal second and third. All right, we'll come down and we'll try to cut the run down at the plate. That was not, let's try to make sure we keep it a 6-run game, because if he had just ended up at third, let's say it would have been, let's argue for a moment that Wells doubled, okay, or Wells hit one into the corner, and Jazz ended up on third. Let's say that was the case. Do you think second and third, or even if Wells got gunned out at second, do you think Jazz at third in that situation, had he not stolen the bases, do you think they would have brought the infield in? Had he gotten there some other way, that would have just been a natural course of the game, that it would have caused the Red Sox to bring the infield in? No, it would not have. No, it would not have. If you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about and you're just joining us, we've been talking about this for a lot of the show so far. And what happened in the Yankee game yesterday when you're up 7-1 in the 8th inning and Jazz Chisholm leads off. When you have a 7-1 lead in the 8th inning, statistically a 99% chance to win the game. In those dopey analytics that make you think of that. 99%. They are not holding Jazz on first base. So in other words, the Red Sox are saying, we're just trying to get outs here and get out of here. We're not worried about holding him on. And he takes off and he steals second. And when he takes off to steal second, the catcher doesn't even flinch to try to throw him out. It was defensive indifference at best, but they gave him the stolen base, being at home. And then he goes and steals third right after that with a 7-1 lead. It's not even like, it would have been different too if you wanted to make the case, well, they were down 7-1 and you shouldn't have done that if you were the Yankees. Like, I could even see that argument too. This one is not even remotely that. At least in that spot, you're trying to do something that's really, really helping your team. I'd make the argument that when you have a 7-1 lead, stealing second and stealing third, when it coincidentally got you to 40 steals on the season in a very easy way, Jazz, when he talked about having 50-50 before the end of the year, and you've been anything but that, please don't try to sell me on the notion that Jazz is trying to do the right thing by his team in that spot. So here is Will Fleming and Will Middlebrooks on the Red Sox broadcast when Jazz took off up 7-1.
Chisholm's doing it again.
By the way,
this is what he does.
Look, you're up 6. It's the 8th. The team is electing not to hold you on. That's the white flag, right? And normally in that situation,
you don't run.
You don't run.
Wouldn't you sort of like to see Moran drill Wells right here? Infield's coming in.
It's just, that's selfish play, right? That's just padding your stats.
Well, he's a Bush League
But guess
player.
what? I mean,
it's not even a steal.
It is 100% padding your stats, and it actually was ruled a steal by the official score. So Jazz got to 40. Not that they didn't give him indifference at second base, and then at third base, when Moran tried to turn and pick him off after Jazz took off early, that's what happens. And so you could say, well, the broadcasters are out of line there for saying that, wouldn't you like to see him go drill Wells? Of course they are, for advocating for it in the moment. I'm never advocating for it. I understand it when it happens. Here's even more Will Fleming.
I don't know what else you need to hear. The 3-2 is drilled into right field. It is way back, and it is gone. And Moran should fight Chisholm. He's walking toward the third base line, staring at him there. Chisholm trots home. It's a 2-run homer, and it's 9-1. Well, it's as if we needed a little extra vinegar for what feels like an inevitable postseason series. There it is. It's 9-1 New York. Chisholm, I'm going to say it, he plays the game the wrong way.
Again, it's stupid to say that he should go and fight him, but when Will Fleming says that Chisholm is playing the game the wrong way, he's not wrong. Here's Lou Merlone, who said this in a little bit more tempered fashion on the Red Sox broadcast.
This right here, I didn't know he was playing behind him. I thought he was keeping him close. I got a problem with that. 7-1 ball game. If I'm playing behind you, I'm telling you we're good. And then to take third base on the very next pitch, too, just to get to 40, that would upset me a little bit. If I'm keeping you close, I'm telling you we're in it, whatever. I'm good with you stealing a bag. But when I'm playing behind you and you steal a bag, and then you turn around and steal third in the very next pitch, like...
Yeah, bad form.
I thought Sogi was actually keeping him close, but he's playing behind him. You don't do that.
On the next pitch. Dumb. And I guarantee you, whether it was Boone or Judge, somebody else open their mouth to Jazz about it later on. I guarantee it. Because what you're doing is you're opening up your teammates to potentially getting hit. Chase in Sayreville is next. ESPN New York. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I have absolutely no problem with Jazz Chisholm stealing both bases. You want to put your foot on their throat and try to ruin any hope they have. And also, like you said, they brought the infield in. If you bring the infield in, you're not giving up.
But why
you're still trying? Otherwise, you would have just left the
Chase, why do you think they... Let me ask you, just answer this question naturally. Let's say that Jazz tripled to lead off the inning, okay? Do you think that they would have brought the infield in then?
Yes.
You're wrong. You're dead wrong. They would not have, because they weren't holding him on first base. So when you go and you steal second and you steal third, and they're basically indifferent to it on second, and then you go and you do it to third, and you catch our attention, all right, jackass, what we'll do is we'll try to cut you down at the plate. Is this where we're going to play it the rest of the way? You got it. That's exactly what happened. Of course, he went on to give up the homer to Wells, and it was pretty much academic at that point. But the Red Sox, in the moment, were fine with it all. The bigger issue here, guys, is it's Jazz Chisholm, okay? It's not anti-Yankee. If this had flipped and was happening on the other side, I'd be saying the exact same thing. I'm actually pro-Yankee for the most part in all of this, and I'm actually pro-Yankee in this spot. Because how would you feel right now if the Red Sox had drilled Wells breaks his hand, and you've got Ali Sanchez playing going into the playoffs. How would you feel then? I know as much as we all kill Wells for the offense, there's a reason he's still out there as much as he is. And it's because, at the very least, he has a decent rapport with the pitching staff. I haven't heard boo. Wells is not Gary Sanchez when he wasn't hitting and he was terrible defensively. That's not what he is. All that does is hurt you. And it's a dumb move by a player that so many times through his Yankee tenure has shown you that he does not use his head in the moment. From the times where he's putting on his stupid oven mitt over at first base and gets picked off, to the times that, he's lollygagging it on a ground ball to second and ends up giving up an infield single because of it, because he doesn't get there fast enough and doesn't throw the ball fast enough because the guy's busting it down the line. Those kinds of moments, you're all killing Jazz. This actually had the chance of getting one of his teammates hurt. And you've got no problem with it because it's the Red Sox. Because it's the Red Sox. Stick it to them. If it was the Mariners, if it was anybody else, I'd be just as annoyed. Wouldn't matter who the team is. 99% chance of winning. It's 7-1 in the 8th inning. It's a dumb baseball play that put his teammates in jeopardy, and it was absolutely not needed in any way. If I was Boone, I would have been hammering him after the game. If I was Judge, I would have been hammering him after the game. If I was Wells or I was Goldschmidt, I would have been annoyed because you put me in that spot. Now, the Red Sox didn't do it, but you put me in that spot where I can get hurt, and I'm going to wear it because you got to get your 40th stolen base. That is a selfish play. A selfish play. And for you guys not to see that is just staggering to me. It really is. Charlie in Cocoa Beach is next, ESPN New York. Charlie, what's going on?
Hey, Chris. So I got to agree with you on this because let's say Jazz, once he steals second, you're already in scoring position. So if you're thinking about putting it onto the Red Sox, a base hit's going to score you regardless. Stealing third base was completely ridiculous. Now, later on, this is going to hurt us because let's say the ALDS, ALCS, whatever it is, we're going to have to see the Red Sox one more time. And who's coming off a rib injury? Our man, the captain. Now, let's say Sonny Gray decides to just take one high and tight right in the rib cage. It's still kind of legal. We're not condoning it. But this could be detrimental for the rest of the playoffs if something happens to Judge on his on coming back to the game.
I'm not even thinking about Judge at this point because we're so far away from him actually coming back. Whether it's next week when they get back on that homestand, I don't think the Red Sox now go out of their way and drill Judge early in that series, okay? I think that maybe they want to make him a little bit uncomfortable, sure, but that has nothing to do with this one. This has to do with in the moment. And here's, for the guys that think like this doesn't put you in jeopardy, Ryan, CB, checking in on the ESPN New York YouTube chat. Carlin, just stop. Nobody feels this way. You're out of touch on this one. Seems like you're reacting to how you think people feel about Jazz than rather what they really think about this situation. And then there's somebody else here. No way Boston dugout thought Jazz was ordered by the Yankees chain of command. Can Carlin understand that? I don't think that the Red Sox think that it was ordered by the Yankee chain of command. I think the Red Sox think that it was Jazz going and trying to steal two bases when it was nice and easy for him to get a stolen base and to get to 40 on the year. And then, if you're a teammate, you have to defend him. But take you back. This is, 10, 12 years ago, but it's just the freshest memory of an instance like this for the people who are saying you're not putting your teammates in jeopardy. It's the Red Sox who are. Okay. All right. Do you think guys don't retaliate? Because it happens all the time. But I think of this one in particular. I forget the Met reliever. He was a jackass, and he got cut the next day. He was a right-handed reliever, and he drilled somebody right after giving up a home run late in the game. And David Wright was up the next half inning. And it was very clear that it was intentional. Man, I can't remember the specifics of this, but it was very clear that it was intentional. And if you'll remember, Terry Collins was going to pull Wright out of the game, and David said, no, I'm going up there, and I'm going to wear this. Nobody else should have to wear this when we drilled the best player on their team. And Terry and the Mets cut the reliever the next day. Who was it?
That would be DJ Carrasco.
That's who it was, that dumbass. That was one of the more memorable moments in my 5 years doing Mets pre- and post-game. What the hell are you thinking? I remember sitting next to Ojeda, and he was as annoyed as could be at Carrasco for that. And it's not this whole old school thing and all that stuff, guys. But the point was that David Wright's like, nah, I know how the game's played here. I'll go up there and I'll wear it in this spot. I'll take it. And Terry's like, no, you won't. I'm not going to make you do that. Even if nothing else, you put more fuel in the Red Sox tank. I had them getting out of town on a quiet little 7-1, 9-1 loss. Right? I had them with their tail between their legs, having lost a tiebreaker, and they're going home. Or wherever they're going. I didn't even look to see if they're going home next. But the point is, the Red Sox are leaving town a little bit dejected that they got their ass kicked. Instead, now what did I do? I put a little bit more juice in their tank. There was no need for that. They are going home. They've got Seattle. Carlin, 800-919-3776. There's no way Jazz Chisholm should be stealing second and third. That is a dumb play that gets your teammates hurt.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The unknown on the other side of this season leads me to believe that there's extra pressure on win now. I think for the Yankees, it's World Series or bust right now. It has to be. When they play their first playoff game, postseason game, whether it's a wild card round or whether they do get to the division somehow, some way, I think it really does start to feel like,
if not now, then when?
Yes.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
The wait is over. Football is here. DraftKings is on. And this September, DraftKings is giving all customers the opportunity to get boosted every game day. That's right, every game day all month long. DraftKings customers can get a profit boost. Plus, get extra protection with early exit. Opt in, and if your player leaves the game with an eligible injury in the first half, your bet is protected. New DraftKings customers sign up with code WHSQ. Spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code WHSQ in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. 21 plus, New York only. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. One football boost per customer. Maximum bet limits and restrictions apply. apply. Tokens expire at the end of the final select game each day when offered. Terms at dkng.co/offer. Limited time offer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Football is back. Feel like it's your year? Well, you're right. Trade every game on the Poly Market app. Join the Poly Market community where you can trade live in-game and exit when you want. See what other fans think, find the predictions you think they've got wrong, and take your position. Just download the Poly Market app and use promo code quarterback. Deposit $10 to get $20 instantly to start trading. 18 plus only. See Poly Market's terms of service for more information about restrictions and eligibility. The Poly Market app is an independent affiliate of Poly Market US and not CFTC regulated. Trading always involves risk. Complete loss can occur.
ESPN New York chat on the YouTube channel. Go there, watch the show right now. You sound ridiculous, Carlin. For them to say Wells should be getting drilled is overkill. I seriously miss Bart. Well, I miss Bart too. That's certainly part of it. For them to say that Wells should be getting drilled, I'm not saying that those two broadcasters are right. They're not. You shouldn't be advocating for that. That's where the Yankee-Red Sox thing comes a little too much into it. Broadcasters should never be advocating for fights or for somebody getting drilled. My point is, though, the guys who played understand it when it happens. Question everything. Carlin, did you lose some money? No, I didn't. It was 7-1. Even I knew the game was over. Come on. Let's see here. Please double down, Tsunami. Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm not backing off of this. Marcus Blackman. Carlin needs a blunt. Yeah. It's going to help me sleep, maybe. Still got that problem. Woke up just a horrible nightmare last night. Horrible middle of the night, 3 a.m. Couldn't get back to sleep for an hour. Oh, God. Calls continue in a moment, 800-919-3776. A brief respite, if you will. Let us go sideline to talk some football.
It's going to happen. This is Sideline to Sideline.
Go, go, go. When we last heard from Tom Bauer, he was at Dollywood, standing in front of a hot dog stand, trying to give us some immediate reaction, feel for the moment on the passing of Dolly Parton. That did not go as planned, but he's back now. He's energized off his roller coaster vacation, quite literally a roller coaster vacation, and he is ready to go, and he's annoyed with me about the whole Jazz thing for sure.
I very much am annoyed with you about that. And
here's what really caught me, too, off guard, is I thought, just to give you a little behind the scenes early in the show, when I started talking about this and saying how wrong Jazz was in the moment for doing it, I looked up and Tom kind of looked around like something was wrong. Like I thought I had done something or said something wrong in a moment. No, Tom was just aggravated with me for what I said. And I'm like, what is it, Tom? What is it? And you're like, that's stupid. That's silly. That's ridiculous. Well, you didn't say those things, but that's what you thought.
I was thinking those things, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
all
I kind of threw my hand up and everything, like I was doing a hook shot. Anyway.
No, I legitimately thought like something was wrong, or maybe I had said something factually incorrect. But no. You just didn't agree with me. That's fine. That's fine.
No, just incorrect. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so cut day in the NFL. How is it affecting us here in New York? Well, Odell Beckham Jr. will once again be a New York Giant. He has made the official roster for the New York Giants, and that means there had to have been some cuts along the line to narrow that down. I wonder where those cuts may have come from.
Boo his ass!
I'm sorry, Don?
Boo his sorry ass!
Who, Don?
Boo him!
Who?
Don't stop booing him!
He's referring to Evan Neal, of course. That was Don's very famous rant from back in the day that's made its
Boo
circulation.
his ass! If you see him on the DMV, boo him! Don't stop booing him! If he goes to the Pro Bowl, boo him! If he wins a Super Bowl, boo his sorry ass!
I'm very sad that the Willowbrook Mall was not mentioned.
The Willowbrook Mall, the fact that Don said, if you see him at the mall at Willowbrook, that is just the most obscure mall in New Jersey that you could ever mention. If you see him at Quaker Bridge, boo his ass!
You see him at Wawa, boo him!
It was amazing. Evan Neal gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He played, what do we count, like 25 games with the Giants? Like, it complete and total bust. Initially, at the time, we thought him and Thibodeau, yeah, that would be like an A-plus first-round draft for the Giants. No, that's not the case. Since his rant, or Don's rant, Evan Neal may have played in about 16 games since then.
You did the math. Okay. So that was the number. They played around 16 games since Don. I couldn't believe that was almost 3 years ago now.
It was a while, but it feels just like yesterday. I remember we were on Yes doing the show at the time, and then I just look up and I see Don turn bright red, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. That was a fun moment.
Also out, Jalen Hyatt. That's going to allow Beckham to wear 13 again. Jalen Hyatt, what a bust he was, too.
I mean, we have a lot of busts from the Joe Schoen era. By the way, Joe Schoen still with the team, by the way. But I kind of see this almost as Neal's gone, Hyatt's gone. It's almost like a flushing of the old regime in a way, washing away our sins or past failures, and finally moving on. It's a little bit like that.
Here's the only thing I'll say about the whole thing, though, is that if you didn't have the injury to Calvin Austin, he wouldn't be on the team.
Probably not.
I don't know what's left. He's fourth, fifth receiver. They're bringing back Berrios. He's going to be on the practice squad and thus elevated for first week as a special teams guy because Beckham doesn't play special teams. I don't know how much Beckham really has left because he doesn't look anywhere near as explosive. You wouldn't expect him to be. There's a lot of talk about how he still gets open. Okay. You know, he has some drops in the preseason as well. He did some good things, but I just don't know how much is actually left. It's a story that he made the team. To me, it's a bigger story if he's on the team at the end of the year. How about that?
Fair enough. And speaking of on the team, let's talk about the New York Jets here for a second, because they also had to make some moves, as every team around the NFL did. And the Jets are left with two quarterbacks on their roster right now, that being Geno Smith and Cade Klubnik. What was your hashtag that you were starting, like Clutch for Cade or something like that?
The Cade Brigade.
Yeah, the Cade Brigade. I almost forgot about that from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a lot of people are jumping off the Cade Brigade, and I understand what your thought process is. I get that. The Jets actually cut down to 52 and left an open spot for today, making many believe that they're waiting to see who's going to be on waivers if there's a quarterback there. Guys, you want to go out there and pick up Will Levis? I'm good. I'd rather go with the Cade Brigade over Will Levis.
Here are some more options that Rich Cimini pointed out. Jake Browning, Nick Mullins, and Josh Johnson. Any of those names pop out to you as somebody you want?
Over Cade Klubnik right now?
Sure.
Probably not. I would just direct your attention to say this, though, okay? You have those couple of guys who get cut and such. Does it also speak to how the Jets feel about Klubnik that they were willing to go with him as their number two? It's just me sneezing. I saved you from it that time. Does it also speak to how they feel about Klubnik in keeping him as number two? Now, he made a throw the other night. It was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like that, as John Winthrop pointed out this morning, that it was a Justin Fields, Zach Wilson type throw against the Giants. But I'm telling you, you can believe me if you don't, if you want. That's up to you. The Jets hierarchy does like Cade Klubnik an awful lot. And you can argue that they need a veteran. I would understand it. I'm still not backing off that Cade Klubnik's going to be the starter at some point this year. It might not be for the reason that I laid out, that he's going to give him a better chance to win than Geno. I'll even concede that. But I think Cade's going to be starting for the Jets at some point this year. Next.
Hashtag Cade Brigade.
Yeah, don't forget.
Also,
I'm telling you, they like Cade Klubnik a lot.
Also, if we haven't mentioned it already, I just want to mention this. Keep an eye out there, Jets fans. According to waiver day priority, the Jets have the second highest priority in the league right behind the Raiders. So that means if the Jets want to pick up somebody on waivers, if the Raiders don't pick them up and the Jets put in a bid for them, the Jets will automatically get that player that they would want to pick up off of waivers. So that will be happening.
It's a good place to be.
Exactly. Stay tuned to ESPN New York, and we will have all that coverage for you. Chris, two notable things happened over the weekend around the NFL. I'll start with the Packers. Josh Jacobs placed on the commissioner's exemption list due to some charges that he was charged with, 2 misdemeanors stemming from an alleged incident with a woman that happened in May. So he is on paid leave, but he cannot play or practice with the Packers until a punishment is doled out by the NFL if they see one fit for the allegations.
Listen, that hurts for the Packers. They went out and traded for Caleb Johnson with the Steelers, who is a second-year running back from Iowa. But they also, their backup right now is Marshawn Lloyd to play in his place. Now, who knows how long that's going to be with him. And I'm assuming that you were going to Denver next with Jonathan Cooper. Jonathan Cooper also on the exempt list, the linebacker for the Broncos, for some similar charges, correct?
I was not going there. But if you want to take that,
listen, he's as important to the Broncos defense as Jacobs is to the Packers offense. I'd put it that way, because with all the sacks that they've had the last couple of years, Cooper's been a big part of that.
Yes.
So that's certainly a concern for Denver right now.
Now, here's an interesting anecdote from the Packers. You know who the Packers play week 2 of the season?
Week 2?
That's
I believe
right.
That's not the Jets, is it?
Oh, it sure is the Jets.
Oh, my goodness.
So you got Jacobs out. You got Micah Parsons, who will also be out for that game. Sneaky upset alert, maybe? Maybe the Packers start a little slow? Or am I thinking a little too highly of the Jets here?
No, listen. If you're a Jet fan and you want to look at all those little things, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Wait a minute, I got Micah Parsons out. I got no Josh Jacobs. Yeah, maybe I can win that game. I don't have a problem with that. And here's the other thing. The NFC North, is it as good as we really think that it is? Is it as good as we really think that it is? I think this might be a year where the Packers, I'm not convinced about the Packers right now. I'm not convinced.
As you shouldn't be.
All right, go ahead.
All right, the last big story of the weekend. It's been long rumored before it was confirmed yesterday. The signs had been kind of dropping out in L.A. for a while about it. Aaron Donald officially back with the Los Angeles Rams, a 1-year, $20 million deal. It's got playoff incentives that raise the total value of the deal to $30 million. Once Aaron Donald returns to the field and he's all in shape and ready to go, it's him and Myles Garrett. Good luck, NFL.
Yeah, listen, I know he's been out for a couple of years. I'll be very curious to see what that looks like, because no matter how much Aaron Donald is a workout nut, it is different to be in game shape and all that. And there were the discussions being laid out there yesterday that maybe, just maybe, they put him on the PUP list so he would miss the first 4 games and let him have his own kind of training camp, so to speak. And if you're the Rams, you could certainly do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with preserving more snaps for him later in the year and allowing him to get ready. And it was clear he just didn't want to go through what training camp is. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever. 800-919-3776. Tarek Skubal did what? We'll explain next. Also, while you guys are out of your minds on this Jazz Chisholm thing, all he's doing is putting the Yankees in harm's way.
Hey, Yankees and Knicks fans. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, September 25th, and be ready to receive a very special giveaway. It's Josh Hart Yankees Bobblehead Night, presented by Delta Airlines. The first 18,000 guests will receive a Josh Hart Yankees bobblehead. Again, don't miss Josh Hart Yankees bobblehead night presented by Delta Airlines when the Yankees face the Orioles on Friday, September 25th. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Well, something troubling happened. Jordan, I think he thought he was paying me a compliment.
Right. And I'm self-aware enough to know that it probably wasn't a compliment.
Jordan goes, well, how old are you? I said, I'm 36. He goes, oh, which is either good or very bad. I was like, how old did you think I was? And he goes, I actually thought you were much closer to my age. Jordan's 11 years older than me.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You gotta like that I'm honest, though.
Yeah.
No pandering.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates. Did you know Social Security takes money out of every paycheck you earn? Paycheck after paycheck. And you're not supposed to touch that money until you're 67? What if you can't work? What if you need that money now? The system is challenging and most people get denied. That's a fact. D'Agostino & Associates has the experience to win, and we win a lot. If you filed for Social Security disability benefits and were denied, let us appeal. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. Bite back means fight back. 1-800-248-3222. We'll fight to get you paid. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and handles Social Security disability claims and appeals. Remember, if you've been denied, call us first. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates. We win a lot.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Quality time with the family, watching for shooting stars, and your cousin's need to take a photo of everything.
Scooch closer to the grill. You're out of the shot. I love the lighting here. Mark, you're blinking again. I'm not moving. You guys have to move. This one's blurry. Wait, don't take a bite of the corn. I want to get a pic.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming.
I'm just taking a picture of the grill. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
So Tarek Skubal, after he got traded, apparently he had bought an espresso machine for the Tigers clubhouse before he got traded. And then when he got traded to the Dodgers and the Dodgers were playing in Detroit, he went in and got the espresso machine and brought it back to his house? He took it back? He says his wife made him take it back. He said this Saturday. He said this Saturday, I'll wear it. I did buy it, but I guess I'll wear it. In other words, my point is, I did pay for it, but I guess I will wear it. To take it out of the machine had become a fixture in the Detroit clubhouse, and it had become a ritual for the Tigers. Per that story, an espresso set up at the team's Lakeland, Florida clubhouse even had a name, Casey's Cafe. It was Casey Mize, who went in together with Scooble to buy the machine. Mize was also traded at the deadline. That espresso machine, along with a high-end coffee grinder and scale to find that perfect view, resided in the locker between Scooble and Justin Verlanders during spring training. So Scooble, it's not clear if it's the same one that made its same debut in spring training, but Scooble took it. Spencer Torkelson, I couldn't believe it. That was a really good espresso machine. If you're Scooble and like the Tigers have just traded you away and you're leaving all those guys and you're going to the Dodgers and you're about to make $350 million in this coming offseason, can you let the machine go? And he blamed it on his wife. That was my wife. I wanted to leave it and get a new one, but she wouldn't let me. My wife was like, that was too expensive to just run the charge back. Nice job, Scooble. Wow. That takes guts. I bought it for the whole clubhouse. I went in with Mize, but now I'm taking it back. Stas in Jamaica, formerly Moose in Jamaica. What's going on, Stas?
Not Stas.
Stas, sorry. What's going on?
Stas, yeah, like the nickname for a dog. Anyway, so I'm not here to talk about what Jazz did, but at the same time, you're 100% right, because it's like hitting a layup or a three when you're up 30 in the last 24 seconds of the shot clock and you have the ball. It's unnecessary. They're not holding them on. You don't need to do that.
Like basketball, like to your point, that or basketball players who, when you're down 25 and the other team's just running out the clock, and they go and try to steal the ball and go for a dunk on the other end. Like, that's just dumb.
Obviously, Steph Curry even did that early in his career. And I'm not speaking for all Yankee fans. I'm speaking for common sense. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets drilled in the playoffs for doing that. And we're going to be like, because like if that were us and we were down 6 runs, I'm pretty sure we would be pissed. But I have to disagree with you when you said that it's not impressive or doesn't change your mind that we took 3 or 4 from the Red Sox. Because it was, I got to have a series to secure the edge in the standings, not only build the lead to 4, but more so win the tiebreak, and even more so, right? The basic opinion that you think it's not going to. The Red Sox have been the hottest team since they got their manager.
Yeah.
They got their rotation and their lineup. They did it without Roman Anthony. He came back in the lineup. We still smashed them. And I love beating the brains out of the Red Sox, but Jazz didn't need to do that. And
well, a couple of fronts here. Stas, I do think it was, to your point, to extend the lead over the Red Sox, to get the tiebreaker, is that a big deal? To me, I think the Yankees were going to end up in that position anyway. It's more important on the 4-game lead than on the tiebreaker right now. I firmly believe the Yankees are better than the Red Sox and would beat them even if the series was in Boston. But wanting to play it at home instead, I get that completely. I'm very confident in what the Yankees are capable of doing, primarily because of their pitching. And if Judge is back, there's no question I'm confident in them. If Judge is back and they don't get to the World Series, that's a disappointment, a major disappointment. I would be surprised even now if the Yankees don't get to the World Series, even if they don't have Judge. Judge is obviously a big-time player, but there's enough there that in the American League, even with the Rays and the Red Sox, that the Yankees would have to face in the first 2 rounds, I would say that there's more than enough there to get to the World Series to beat those 2 teams and then whoever comes out of the other side, whether it's Chicago or Houston or Texas or whoever. Angel in Brooklyn next on ESPN New York. Angel, what's going on?
Chris, top of the morning to you and everybody else. I want to say this. If it's situational baseball. If it's Fenway Park, that huge handball court and pesky pole, top of the 8th inning, we still got 6 outs to go. Jazz, go for it. Be aggressive. Not a problem. But the reason why it's wrong, and I'm going to tell you why a lot of callers would not admit it, but what I'm about to say, if Jazz pops his knee, pops a hamstring doing what he did last night, what is the conversation we're having today? And where does that conversation go? Why did he do that? Why was that necessary? The health of the Yankees. So that's why, for me personally, it wasn't necessary. I'm not going to say it was Bush League. It just wasn't necessary. So that, for me, that's why I agree with you. And on another note, I just want to throw it out there. Will Levis, Jets or Giants, what do you think? Who should pick him up? And thank you for taking my call.
Hard pass. Thanks, Angel. I appreciate it. Hard pass on Will Levis. I'm good. Thanks. Don't need him. I'm good with Klubnik. I'm good with whomever at that point. I don't need Will Levis here. Will Levis is not very good. Some of the chat coming in. Ariel Morante has just been calling me. This caller's a paid caller. No more Jazz. Carlin is out of his mind when it comes to this. Carlin would probably say that Skubal, where is the one here? Carlin should probably say that Skubal should get hit if he was up at plate for taking the espresso machine back. No. Carlin should do college games in his food reviews. Well, good chance I'm going to do both, but I'm still going to do this. Sorry. What else here? Even Ty Butler wouldn't have such a lunatic take, and he walks the line often. This is not a lunatic take. You can think what you want. I am thinking like the players are thinking in the Red Sox dugout and in the Yankees dugout. I guarantee you there were some Yankee players who did not like that one bit. When the Red Sox are backing off, no. Oh, here's what the comment was. Christian Rangel, Carlin's going to say, just charge the mound for the machine against Skubal. Well, I might. Primo Sabe, Carlin misses Bart, so he goes on these crazy takes. No, 2 things can be independently true. I miss Bart very much, and I have crazy takes on my own if you think this is crazy. But this is not crazy. This is just the game. I understand it, and perhaps you don't.
They built this station from the ground up. And now, for one afternoon, they're back together. Michael Kay and Don LaGreca, the 2 longest tenured voices in ESPN New York history, reunite for a special 2-hour broadcast celebrating 25 years of ESPN New York. 25 years. 2 legends. 1 conversation you won't want to miss. Thursday, September 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. New episodes available now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They are the 2026 NBA champions. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. This is Carlin.
You know I am not that bright.
On ESPN New York.
Fat, bald, nasally, I got it.
And streaming live on YouTube.
You're welcome. Noon on ESPN New York. Carlin with you, ESPN New York YouTube channel as well at 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Right now, we will get back to, in just a few moments, all the discussion around Jazz Chisholm and what he did in the Yankee game yesterday and why it was incredibly silly. But we welcome in our good friend Mike Tannenbaum. He is, of course, the former GM of the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins, ESPN's front office insider, who joins us a day after all these rosters are getting set. Mike, it's Chris in New York. How we doing? Are we ready for the start of the season?
Yes, sir. The season started this past weekend in college football, if you didn't know.
I did know it started for the Virginia Cavaliers, Mike. Have they made the common sense move of promoting Mr. Tannenbaum up to be their number one long snapper as of yet?
Not yet, but we're making progress there, and more importantly, the program's doing great, and they have an offensive line that will be one of the better ones in the country, and setting Bo Prabilla up to have a great season, and boy, they look really good. The other day, I was fortunate to be there, and C.J. Bailey will be a name people will need to know, the quarterback from NC State, but Saturday was UVA's day.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that will be talked about, unfortunately, in the transfer portal a lot first before the draft, I think. But, Mike, let's get to it. Were you surprised that the Jets opted to just go with Cade Klubnik as their backup as opposed to maybe some of the options that they could have gone with as a veteran backup?
Yeah, so two thoughts. One, I think Cade Klubnik's had a really good, summer practices, games. And secondly, I think for our audience, Chris, we got to remember, truly, this time of year, your roster is firmly etched in pencil. And what I mean by that is, if you're a veteran player and you're on the roster on opening day, you're, guaranteed for the year. So you're going to see a lot of transactions over the next 2 weeks where somebody may be on the team, then off, then added. So it's a fluid situation. Not necessarily say the Jets will add another quarterback, but generally speaking, it's a very fluid situation.
It could be a spot, in other words, where somebody does not pick somebody up before week one, but then they do after that because their money would not be guaranteed the rest of the way, correct?
That's right. It just gives you some flexibility down the road.
Okay, so from Klubnik, Mike, what have you seen, what have you liked that gives you some faith in his ability as a backup?
Well, I think you go back to Clemson. I mean, you can look at his 8 throws, and they're there. I mean, he has, the size and the ability And, like any young quarterback, it's going to be about consistency and development. So, look, do you want Cade Klubnik to be, taking throws in week one? Probably not. But, part of the job of running a team, Chris, which is very, very difficult this time of year, is the intersection of a young ascending player eclipsing an older declining player. And you're seeing that all throughout the league. But Cade Klubnik, to me, really has ability. How high is his ceiling? That's hard to say, but I've been encouraged by his movement, his arm strength, the command of the offense, which is clear. So I'm encouraged. I'm not surprised he's on the team, and, I'm very intrigued by his future.
Mike, what are realistic expectations for the Jet offense this season?
I'm bullish. I've been on record. I think this is a team that could certainly have a winning record, and I think offensively, I think Geno Smith is going to play a lot better than he did a year ago. I'm a firm believer in, show me a good offensive line, I'll show you a good offense. And I just think the Jets are really built the right way, starting with two really good young tackles. I think that's going to help Geno Smith immeasurably. And, Garrett Wilson's a great player, and I think, the more the Omar Coopers of the world continue to develop, Mason Taylor, get Kenyon Sadiq back, there's more explosive players on this offense than I think people realize.
Mike, when you look at the kicking situation, it's one of those spots where it feels like you're almost putting yourself in harm's way when you can't find a better option than what you have already. And it's one of those things that you just don't want to be battling. We've seen it with the Giants here the last couple of years when Gano's gotten hurt. And they, I think over a 3-year span, have gone through 8 different kickers. Can you just discuss the challenges of that particular roster spot and finding the guy that you'll be able to rely on?
Yeah, you're seeing it all throughout the league. Buffalo just cut a veteran punter. The Giants improbably kept a guy named Ben Mann as their long snapper, who's an undrafted free agent who spent time at BC and Yale, amongst others. So it's, again, a fluid situation. And typically what we would do on that, Chris, is if you go with a young kicker or a young punter, you're probably going to bring in the best veterans at that respective position and then just know what your short list looks like. So if you go young, you certainly hope it looks good and continues to go well. But in your back pocket, you certainly want to know what your options are going to be. And I just think when you look around the league, it's really interesting. You saw a bunch of teams keep 4 quarterbacks, which is unusual, and quite frankly, I was a little surprised. So, I think some of these things will look different if you and I are speaking next week or the week after.
Just on that, Mike, what's the possible rationale for keeping 4 quarterbacks?
Oh, I would. I would be hard-pressed to say what isn't the rationale.
Really? Okay.
Look at Minnesota. Yeah, look at Minnesota, for example. Kyler Murray's starter. Carson Wentz has played good football. J.J. McCarthy is younger than Carson Beck and Trinidad Chambliss. He's played 10 games in the league. If you and I were running an NFL team, the only grade we could give J.J. McCarthy is a grade of incomplete. That is it. That is how young and inexperienced he is. And then Max Brosmer has looked good. If you're Philadelphia, same thing. Cole Payton's looked good. You believe in Tanner McKee. You signed Andy Dalton. If we have to go short at receiver or at safety, I think that's smart business long term. Is it ideal? No. But last year, I think the number, Chris, was 64 different quarterbacks started a game in the NFL. And if that's the case, I'd much rather have a little bit too much depth than not enough, even if it means we're going a little bit short someplace else.
Mike Tannenbaum with us, ESPN NFL front office insider, and, of course, the former GM for the Dolphins and the Jets. Mike, over on the other side, granted, it's new regime in town, so they'll, so to speak, with John Harbaugh, so they'll argue there's certainly no emotional ties to it, but Joe Schoen did make the picks. How difficult is it when you're a GM to finally make the decision to move on from a guy who was a top 10 pick like Evan Neal?
Yeah, ultimately you're judged by your win-loss record, but, when Jalen Hyatt or Evan Neal gets cut, there's a part of you the most important thing is to sit there and say, hey, look, lesson learned. And I'm looking at my job. My head coach isn't here. A lot of my picks aren't here. So I got to have absolute, like, as much transparency as possible with myself, my department, and constantly looking at an autopsy of what could we do better, you know, because it's bad enough to make a mistake. You don't want to make the same mistake twice. And you wouldn't say anything like that publicly, but clearly, you know, that hurts when you lose a top 10 player like that.
Odell Beckham, Mike, what have you seen in terms of what's left for him? Does he have a lot left?
Yeah, you know, watching in the summer, you know, a little bit more juice than maybe I thought. You know, again, we just talked about, Chris, here's the biggest challenge you have as the Giants. It's not what he looks like today, because he looks better than expected, but are you going to get that for 17 games?
Yeah.
And that's what's really hard. But, you know, to his credit, he's earned a spot. And again, as we just discussed, Chris, under the rules, that means he's guaranteed money for the entire season.
So that's what's kind of curious to me. To your point, is he going to be able to look like that later in the year? It's always the case with veterans who have been that far along the lines. I don't want to suggest that this is definitively going to happen, or that this is going to happen, because they've already kind of congratulated him on making the team. But would you have considered kind of waiting until after week one and potentially risk losing him if somebody else wanted to sign him, if I didn't want to guarantee his money?
Yes, but with that said, the juxtaposition of that thought, Chris, is what do we have in Malik Neighbors in week one? You know, is he going to be able to give us, you know, whatever that is, 50, 60 reps at a high level? So you try to manage a little bit early in the season, and, you know, sometimes you have to take risks, and certainly, you know, that's a little bit of a calculated risk. But clearly, you know, OBJ's earned a roster spot. And then you look around and say, like, well, who else is out there? Who else could we get to kind of fill that void maybe, certainly short term? Because, like, with Neighbors, it's great that he's ready to go, but what I would be worried about isn't the knee, is some other soft tissue injury, because he may not be in his typical shape. And you talk to players about that all the time. It's not, you know, the injury that they're like, it's like Patrick Mahomes, right? There's no doubt when they put him out there, he'll be cleared that his knee is 100% or, you know, medically cleared. But, you know, it could be a groin or a hamstring because he's not quite in the condition that he once was.
Mike Tannenbaum with us, ESPN NFL front office insider. Mike, this is, from all the cuts this weekend, was there anything that really caught your attention, like, wow, I'm surprised they did this, or I'm surprised this guy made a roster? What were your takeaways from the roster cuts this weekend?
Yeah, you know, there's always a few that are going to surprise you, like Will Levis. I think Will Levis has a lot of ability. And I wouldn't be surprised, Chris, if a team sits there and says, hey, you know what, he's our 53rd player this year, but, you know, if we're picking a team, the Rams, and we believe in Sean McVay, and, you know, we're going to cut Stetson Bennett, and we're going to go with Ty Simpson, and, you know, we're going to give him a year, because what have we seen? We've seen Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, you know, Daniel Jones go other places and play well. Someone's going to look at Will Levis and say, hey, there's a lot of ability there. So a little surprised that Robert Saleh gave up on him. Again, it's been bumpy for him, but I'm just a big believer, and you got to be patient with young quarterbacks.
All right, last one, Mike. So I've been talking about this in relation to baseball and something that happened with the Yankees and Jazz Chisholm stealing a couple of bases when they're up by 6 runs yesterday. Are there still things in football that it is universally kind of an unspoken rule, things that you don't go throw the football when you're up 35? Are there things that are still frowned upon when it comes to that kind of thing, so to speak? As you're a GM and you're on the losing side of that, is there something that's going to annoy you?
Yeah, exactly that. You know, especially in our sport where the risk of injury is so prohibitive, you know, the last thing you want to do is put your quarterback in harm's way with a 3-score lead and 4 minutes to go, like, run the ball, take a knee. You know, you see more and more teams not taking a knee. I don't understand that because you're trying to minimize the exposure you have in a sport where, you know, there's such a high rate of injury. So, you know, stealing bases is one thing, but exposing your quarterback is really unacceptable. when the game is clearly out of hand. Now, look, there was a miracle the other day. I'm not sure a lot of people are familiar with William & Mary in Villanova, but if you go online, William & Mary had one of the most improbable wins you could ever see. Hawaii was coming back against Stanford until a scoop and score changed that game. So that's what's so much fun about our sport, but there are ways to limit exposure, at the appropriate time.
I believe that was like a 10-point lead with like 48 seconds left or something like that with William & Mary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was crazy. Yeah.
Mike, appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's Mike Tannenbaum, ESPN NFL front office insider, and, of course, the former GM of the Jets and the Dolphins. And it brings me back to a lot of this discussion. We wanted to get into some of that just based on what the rosters look like. But there are these, it's not about the unwritten rules stuff, okay? And like old school versus new school, things like that. It's in that moment for Chisholm yesterday that he was just so wrong for doing what he did. Now, if you missed what we're talking about, this was in the Yankee game yesterday against the Red Sox. It is 7-1 in the 8th inning. Chisholm walks to lead off the inning. The Red Sox, down by 6 runs, there's now a probability of 99% that the Yankees are going to win that game. Okay? Probability of 99%. Chisholm walks. They take Chisholm and they play off the bag. In other words, they don't hold him on. So the Red Sox are saying at this point, we just want to get out of here. Okay? We're going to get our outs and get out of here. We're not going to hold him on. They're basically backing off in the moment. Chisholm has 38 stolen bases. He takes off and steals second. The pitch that came in from Moran was in the dirt, but it wasn't so far out of reach. It went right into the glove of Adley Rutschman that Rutschman did not even bother throwing down to second base. He absolutely could have, but he did not even bother throwing down to second base. In any other instance, it probably would have been called catcher's indifference. The official scorer calls it a stolen base. On the next pitch, Chisholm takes off for third right before the pitch is even going to be thrown by Moran, and Moran tries to step off in time, but he can't. Chisholm steals third, and Moran is clearly annoyed. Again, up 6 runs at this point if you're the Yankees. And Chisholm gets his 40th stolen base. Milestone. Stealing 40 bases. You can't tell me Chisholm didn't know going into that spot. The Red Sox then bring the infield in. And you might be saying, well, look, they brought the infield in. They're not giving up the game. They brought the infield in because in that moment, Chisholm had stolen those 2 bases, and they were basically saying to the Yankees, okay, you want to play this way? Screw you. This is what we're going to do. The bigger problem for me, though, is what Chisholm has done in that moment is he has put his teammates in harm's way. Austin Wells is at the plate. What happens if he gets drilled? Was it really that far out of the realm of possibility? Well, it was certainly talked about on the Red Sox broadcast, and it doesn't make this right. But the point is, this is Will Middlebrooks and Will Fleming on WEEI in Boston. This is on some people's minds.
Chisholm's doing it again.
By the way,
this is what he does.
Look, you're up 6. It's the 8th. The team is electing not to hold you on. That's the white flag, right? And normally in that situation,
you don't run.
You don't run.
Wouldn't you sort of like to see Moran drill Wells right here? Infield's coming in.
It's just, that's selfish play, right? That's just padding your stats.
Well, he's a Bush League
But guess
player.
what? I mean,
it's not even a steal.
See, now it's dumb to suggest that they should drill Wells. As a broadcaster, you would never do that. And that was as silly as could be. But it's on people's minds. That's the point. So let's just say for a moment that Wells gets drilled on the hand and breaks his hand. Whose fault is that? It's obviously the Red Sox fault, but it's Jazz Chisholm's fault for inciting it to begin with. My point is, up 6, stealing 2 bases when they're playing back just to get your 40th, that's a garbage move. And I can guarantee you Aaron Boone wasn't happy about it, and I can guarantee you Aaron Judge wasn't happy about it. And it wasn't just the guys on the radio. This was Lou Merlone, who said it in a little bit more of a tempered way over on Nesson.
This right here, I didn't know he was playing behind him. I thought he was keeping him close. I got a problem with that. 7-1 ball game. If I'm playing behind you, I'm telling you we're good. And then to take third base on the very next pitch, too, just to get to 40, that would upset me a little bit. If I'm keeping you close, I'm telling you we're in it, whatever. I'm good with you stealing a bag. But when I'm playing behind you and you steal a bag and then you turn around and steal third in the very next pitch,
yeah, bad form.
I thought Sogi was actually keeping him close, but he's playing behind him. You don't do that.
Yeah, you don't do that. And the other thing that you did was that you had the Red Sox basically skulking out of town, having lost 3 of 4. And you ended up pounding them in the game. They're still complaining about the call that wasn't overturned on what they thought should have been a catch, but really could have gone either way. That opened up the floodgates for all the scoring to begin with. That started with the first home run, and then they score 5 runs in the inning earlier in the 5th. So they're still annoyed by that. But the Red Sox are getting their asses kicked and just trying to get out of there, and Chisholm decides to try to pour a little extra on because he wants to pad his stats. That's a dumb move by Jazz Chisholm. And there have been way too many dumb moves by Jazz Chisholm, from the times he gets picked off, from the plays in the field where he makes mistakes. It happens way too often. And if you think the manager, who was thoroughly annoyed at the fact that he had a lollipop in his mouth earlier this year, if you think Aaron Boone wasn't annoyed about that, you're out of your mind. What Chisholm did there was incredibly selfish. He was thinking about 40 stolen bases. He wasn't thinking about, let's tack on to this 7-1 lead. And there have been so many fans today that have been on the exact opposite side of this, and I am surprised by you guys. We can get into the unwritten rule thing. I don't really care to. This is just dumb. It's dumb. There's no reason to incite a team that was dead in the water going out of town. You had them feeling pretty crummy leaving, getting their butts kicked. You just got the tiebreaker. You've got a 4-game lead over them, and you know you're going to be playing them in the first round likely. And now you put a little fuel in their tank leaving town? Stupid, stupid, stupid move. 800-919-3776. Noel in Piscataway is up on ESPN New York. Noel, what's up, buddy?
Carlin, love you, right? I live right across the street in Society Hill in Piscataway. Go to the games. You got a good offensive line coach at Rutgers this year. Jim Turner, he coached me in college. Then he went over to the Dolphins. But I'm going to take it to the next side of the gambit here. I think you're totally missing the boat here. First thing, Jazz made a big statement, blew off his mouth. He should have made that statement about 50-50. But if he can get to one side of that promise, right, then he saves a little face. Secondly, do you know how many... Does that make any Yankee fan feel... No. That's in his head. Does 50 stolen bases for Jazz Chisholm change the Yankee fan feeling about him at all? Outlook of what the rest of the league might look at and say he's valuable because of this, right? There's a component of that, right? Secondly, the other thing I wanted to talk about is, do you know how many come from behind victories the Red Sox have this year?
I do.
30.
I do.
30. So when you say to me, and I'm listening to you, I've been holding for a while, that when you say to me 6 runs is enough, I have to disagree. And
it's
also,
not that 6 runs. Noel, I'll put it this way, okay? Put it this way.
Yeah.
Let's say that Chisholm tripled to lead off the inning as opposed to walked and then stole second and stole third after they're not holding him on. Do you think the Red Sox are bringing the infield in with nobody out, 6 runs? They're not. The Red Sox were basically saying, okay, we're paying attention. You want to do this? Let's do this.
Runs is not from
you're breaking up on me there for a second. I'm sorry about that. But I get your point. My point is simply, no, this is garbage. It's a dumb move. All it does is put your teammates in harm's way. And the Yankees are lucky that in that moment the Red Sox didn't drill either of the players. Didn't drill Wells, didn't drill Goldschmidt, who was coming up later in the inning. They are lucky that didn't happen. But the Red Sox are going to remember that. They're going to remember that. And you put a little juice in their tank. And if you want to sit there and say, hey, no lead is too safe, that's fine. Jazz wasn't thinking about your lead. Jazz was thinking about getting to 40 stolen bases, and here's a way I can do it nice and easy. They're not even holding me on. He was not thinking for a second about, let me get to third base so that we can add even more onto this game. Not in the least. It is an incredibly selfish move. When he did that, and then he got to second, and he's like, oh, well, that was easy. They didn't even throw down. You know what? I'll take off for third before the pitcher even starts to go into his motion. And it ticked off the pitcher. Frankly, I'll be truthful about this, okay? I give him credit for not drilling anybody. He did the right thing in that moment, morally. Would I have understood it? I'm not advocating for it, but if he had done it, would I have been surprised? No, I would not have been surprised at all. Moran easily could have drilled him. Easily could have drilled him, and he didn't. I give him credit for that. Not that I want to, because it's still not the right thing to do in any situation, but I kind of have to. That could have been a bad spot. And, yes, you'd blame the Red Sox for doing it, but you'd blame Chisholm for inciting it. Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Please enlighten me as to why I'm wrong. The only argument that I have heard so far that held any water to me was that you'd rather be more aggressive as a team than more passive. That's it. That's the only thing that you could ever try to sell me on, and even that is a tough sell.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Upgrade your outdoor living space with TimberTech, the #1 brand in premium decking from Rings End. Picture this, a deck that's the highlight of your backyard, turning heads season after season. Now, imagine 20, 30 years later. It's still going strong. And here's the best part. You haven't spent a moment sanding, staining, or sealing it. Visit your local Rings End for the stunning real wood looks of TimberTech decking, paired with the kind of durability that only advanced engineering can deliver. Backed by industry-leading warranties, TimberTech is the decking that performs for decades. Ask for it locally at Rings End.
ESPN ESPN New York and MSG Network are joining forces.
Big news, jazz hands.
Start your mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg, live on the MSG Network. Then stick around for Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, live on MSG every afternoon.
We are beyond excited to start simulcasting on MSG Networks.
So think about this real quick second. You got us in the morning 6 to 10. You got our afternoon show 3 to 7. And then right after that, you're talking Knicks, you're talking Rangers.
Yo, yeah. You wake up, you pop it on again, and there we are, waiting for you. Good morning.
ESPN New York and MSG Network, together like never before. It all starts Tuesday, September 8th.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid, bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check the grill first before hosting for the big game. No.
Seriously? You didn't check the propane first?
Okay. Well, who wants chips? We've got barbecue, mesquite, salt and vinegar, sour cream and onion. Who wants what? I got you.
Yeah, checking first is a win. So check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds.
Voiced by paid actor. Potential savings vary. Subject to terms and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Rich Eisen here. We talk a lot about battles in sports. Teams battling through adversity. Athletes fighting for every yard. The toughest warriors I've ever seen, though, aren't on the field. They're kids fighting cancer. Their families standing beside them. Doctors, nurses, caregivers. That's why I'm proud to support Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 28 years, they've helped fund pediatric cancer research, raising more than $303 million and supporting over 40,000 children. Learn more and donate at HyundaiUSA.com/Hope on Wheels.
My friends, big news for New York sports fans. DiPietro and Rothenberg and Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg are coming to MSG Network starting Tuesday, September 8th. Catch our morning and afternoon shows simulcasted across MSG Network's television and digital platforms. You can still catch us on 880 AM, the ESPN New York app, YouTube, and more. But we are beyond excited to start simulcasting on MSG Networks, which will give our shows an even bigger platform to reach our fans. Don't miss out. It's all starting September 8th on MSG Networks. 800-919-3776. Here are just some of the ridiculous takes that we are getting back on this stuff, and it's amazing. I thought you guys were better than this. ESPN has it in for Jazz, and Carlin does too. Has it in for him? How do I have it in for him? Anything I have criticized Chisholm for are dumb mistakes that he makes. When is the juice worth the squeeze with a particular player? If this was anybody else, I'd be criticizing them for doing it too. If this situation was flipped, I'd be criticizing the Red Sox for doing it too. And I wouldn't have blamed the Yankees if they had drilled somebody at the plate. Not that I'm advocating for it, but would I be surprised by it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. M. Garen's such a lame argument. Come on, Chris, this is ridiculous, making a big deal about Jazz stealing those bags. We're talking about 6 runs, man. How many teams come back from that kind of deficit? Shaking my head. The Jazz hate is real. It's not an individual player, although this player does some things that drive you up the wall. Were you defending Jazz when he got picked off while he was fixing his glove? Not once, but twice. That happened this year. Not once, but twice, where he's trying to get his little mitten on, and he's actually out off the base, and they catch him napping. How about the errors and the mistakes that are made in the field? There are just monumentally silly plays that he makes, and this is up there with one of them. Connor, if the Red Sox didn't want him to run up the score, then play the game. They backed off of holding him on first base. Let me ask you another question. If the Red Sox had held Jazz on first in that spot, is he as likely to steal? Well, certainly not as likely. He could, but not as likely. And the Red Sox were letting it go. And how do I know? Because when the pitch was thrown, Rutschman didn't even react behind the plate. Didn't even react. Who else here? Rich, are you suggesting the Yankees should treat Boston to dinner and drinks as a gesture for their lack of retaliation? No, of course not. Of course not. What I'm saying is that Jazz is fortunate that the Red Sox didn't do it. Because, let me give you an example, okay? Years ago, I worked in minor league baseball. And the player has passed away since. A tragic story. He's actually not a bad guy. His name was Jeremy Gonzalez. You may remember him. He pitched for the Cubs. He pitched for the Mets as well. He passed away in just a horrific story where he was at home in Venezuela, and Jeremy was out on a lake and got struck by lightning. Horrible story. Jeremy wasn't a bad guy. I knew him all the way down when he was in A-ball because I did the games in the Cubs organization at that time. And Jeremy did not back up a teammate. One of his teammates got hit in what they thought was a intentional situation. And he did not, in turn, respond and hit a player on the other team. So that teammate, who was kind of a jackass at times himself, I was not 100% convinced that they were throwing at him, unless it was something that he, basically instigated. But I don't remember that he did. Anyway, this player was mad that Jeremy didn't back him up. And the GM at the time was a guy named Al Goldis for the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs. And he came to town to talk to the entire roster because the situation had made its way up to the front office because it was kind of bubbling over in the clubhouse. So the GM comes in and says, listen, here's the deal. If we have a fight on the field or if we have a situation where one of our players gets hurt and we have him charging the mound or any kind of a fight, if you leave the dugout to back him up, I'm going to fine you for leaving the dugout and being involved in a fight. If you don't leave the dugout to back him up, your ass will be on the next plane. What's my point of that story? Baseball players and teammates very much take that stuff seriously. And if you are perceived as either A, not backing up your teammates, or B, putting your teammates in a situation where they may have to bear the consequences for your actions, they are not going to take well to that. And the Yankees, and particularly Chisholm, is exceptionally lucky that in that moment the Red Sox did not drill any of the players that were due at the plate, whether it was Wells, whether it was Goldschmidt, any of them. They didn't do it. But the Red Sox saw it. They were annoyed by it. The other thing it did is you put a little bit of extra fuel in their tank. for when you play them in the postseason. And you didn't need to do that when you basically had them skulking out of town, getting their ass kicked 7-1. It was a dumb move by Chisholm. Gary on the Taconic is up on ESPN New York. Gary, what's up, baby?
Hi, Chris. Listen, you've been on for 2.5 hours. You've been on this for almost 2.5 hours. But let me just make one point. I don't think Chaz put his teammates in danger. I think the reason why the Red Sox brought the infield in was because if they had a play at the plate, they were going to retaliate then, and they can retaliate against Chaz when they see the Yankees again.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. It all depends. It all depends.
Gary was very selfish.
Gary, it all depends. Yeah. It all depends on the situation and who the players are who were involved. The pitcher in that moment did not go after anybody else. You might be right about that.
No, I know.
But even so, Gary.
What Chaz did.
But Gary, does that help you later?
Chaz didn't. Go ahead.
Does that help you later if Chisholm gets hurt yesterday or he gets hurt later on? Does that help you?
Does it help me or Chaz?
The Yankees. Does it help Chisholm? Does it help the Yankees? Does it help anybody just because it was an easy way to get the 40 steals?
It doesn't help the Yankees if Chaz gets hurt. But
it's a
Chaz
selfish
would be
play.
punished for his own selfishness.
Okay, maybe
if the Red Sox went after him.
Hey, Gary, you might be 100% right about that. And it's an astute observation on your point. Maybe the Red Sox would have come home with it so that Rutschman, if he got the ball thrown to him, would have tried to take him out at the plate. Maybe so. Maybe so. And frankly, if that's the case, I give the Red Sox a little bit of credit for that, for not taking it out on anybody else and for holding it to take it out on the one particular player. That does not always happen. That does not always happen. But Chisholm, if he gets hit later, what if he gets hit in the hand? It breaks his hand. Does that help the Yankees? Or does that put them in a more tenuous spot with another injury? Potentially in the postseason at that. You might be 100% right. There is no doubt that once Chisholm stole second and stole third, the Red Sox brought the infield in because they were basically saying, all right, you want to play like that? Here we go. Let's do it. And that very well could have been the case. I can't wait to hear what Michael has to say about all of this. He's coming up at 1 o'clock. He, of course, is Michael on the West Coast? Is he doing this series with the Angels? I assume that he probably is. And so Michael will be doing the show coming up here at 1 o'clock out from in California. This has been, frankly, I am surprised at you guys. I am surprised that you are really not seeing the forest for the trees on this one. Carlin, ESPN New York.
They built this station from the ground up. And now, for one afternoon, they're back together. Michael Kay and Don LaGreca, the two longest tenured voices in ESPN New York history, reunite for a special 2-hour broadcast celebrating 25 years of ESPN New York. 25 years. Two legends. One conversation you won't want to miss. Thursday, September 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Dave Portnoy here. Something big is coming. September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day. We're talking massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. Whatever you're betting, DraftKings Game Day has deals dropping all day long. One app, every sport. So mark the date, September 2nd, new season, new era, DraftKings Game Day. Get pumped.
Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers. Sign up with promo code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code WHSQ. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. 21 and over. New York only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promo. Limited time offer.
One
car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
Rich Eisen here. Running a small business means every hire matters. A bad hire costs time and money, but the right one helps your business grow. The challenge? Finding that person without sorting through resumes. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro comes in. It screens candidates so you can focus on conversations with qualified talent. With Hiring Pro, you can hire with confidence and build the team you need. Join the 2.7 million small businesses using LinkedIn to hire. Get started by posting your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply.
So I've got this right. Flat repairs or replacement if needed. Rotations and rebalancing every 5,000 miles, all included with the tire purchase. With paid installation and tax? That's the...
Don't make me say it.
I was going to say it.
You don't say it. You back it up. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Free with every tire purchase.
So they're the
best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Midas, the best around.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
This is the Michael K. Show.
You hear people saying, that's why Yankees should have got a reliever. Well, they tried. Everybody wanted George Lombard Jr., one of their top prospects. Would you have wanted to give up George Lombard Jr.?
Oh, they should have gotten Mason Miller.
Not available.
They should have got Morajan.
Not available. They did try. They knew they needed another arm in the bullpen, but you can't bankrupt your system to get another arm in the bullpen.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Chisholm's doing it again.
By the way,
this is what he does.
Look, you're up 6. It's the 8th. The team is electing not to hold you on. That's the white flag, right? And normally in that situation,
you don't run.
You don't run.
Wouldn't you sort of like to see Moran drill Wells right here? Infield's coming in.
That's selfish play, right? That's just padding your stats.
Well, he's a Bush League
guess
player.
what? I mean,
it's not even a steal.
That's Will Fleming, Will Middlebrooks on WEEI up in Boston yesterday. Will Fleming is the one who's suggesting that they should drill Wells, which is obviously not something you can ever do as a broadcaster. And they went on to say this shortly thereafter. Again, this is Fleming.
I don't know what else you need to hear. The 3-2 is drilled into right field. It is way back, and it is gone. And Moran should fight Chisholm. He's walking toward the third base line, staring at him there. Chisholm trots home. It's a 2-run homer, and it's 9-1. Well, it's as if we needed a little extra vinegar for what feels like an inevitable postseason series. There it is. It's 9-1 New York. Chisholm, I'm going to say it, he plays the game the wrong way.
Listen, you have a problem with what Chisholm did. I don't think he was alone, but Will Fleming has put out the following tweets within the last little bit. Okay? This is Will Fleming who made those comments. Since I have been receiving nonstop calls and threats I felt like it was important to hop back on here and say my comments during yesterday's broadcast crossed a line. I'm emotional and a fan at heart, and that bled into the broadcast. I meant no disrespect to the Yankee players or organization. I could and should have used different words. These rivalry games get me fired up. I apologize for letting the emotion of the moment get the best of me. All right, two things here. Fine. It was dumb in the first place to use those words, but don't at least be smart enough to start it with since I have been getting nonstop calls and threats. Dummy, you were wrong in saying it in the first place. But the overall sentiment, the players in that dugout are thinking about it. Will Middlebrooks was thinking about it. And Lou Merloni on the NESN broadcast also pointed out that Jazz Chisholm was wrong for what he did. And this is not just a Yankee Red Sox thing. This is a one specific player thing. Here's my problem with it. He put his own teammates potentially in danger by those stupid actions to get to 40 stolen bases. This was Lou Merloni on the broadcast.
This right here, I didn't know he was playing behind him. I thought he was keeping him close. I got a problem with that. 7-1 ball game. If I'm playing behind you, I'm telling you we're good. And then to take third base on the very next pitch, too, just to get to 40, that would upset me a little bit. If I'm keeping you close, I'm telling you we're in it, whatever. I'm good with you stealing a bag. But when I'm playing behind you and you steal a bag, and then you turn around and steal third in the very next pitch,
yeah, bad form.
I thought Sogi was actually keeping him close, but he's playing behind him. You don't do that.
So listen, I thought Merloni put it pretty well. It's not something you do. Now, here you go. This is the reason to stay locked in at the top of the hour right here, my friends. Michael K. just sent me a text. I will change your mind on this, guaranteed, at the start of the show. So he thinks I'm wrong on this. So he will get into it right at the beginning of the show at 800-919-3776. He might. I don't think he will. I can be a little bit stubborn. I don't know if you know that. Here's Jalen in Yonkers. What's up, Jalen? How are you?
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for taking the call. Really appreciate it. Listen, I think you're definitely wrong on this. It's really important to note that what if that's a player that has incentives to steal more bases? What if that's not 40? What if that's him getting to 15 or 20? Right? Why are we getting mad at playing the game? Thank you for the call.
Because it's in a moment where it's 6-1. And you know who would have a problem with what Jazz Chisholm did? To your point about incentives and all that, CC Sabathia would have a problem with what Jazz Chisholm did. And that's the same guy that drilled a guy on the Rays when he had a $500,000 bonus on the line if he finished the inning. Do we remember that a couple of years ago? Don't talk to me about incentives when all Sabathia had to do was to go out and get through the rest of that inning, but he drilled a Rays player in retaliation and pointed at the Rays dugout and said, "That's for you." Sabathia would have been annoyed that his teammate stole those bases in that situation. And we all lauded him for doing it. I love what he did in that spot, backing up his teammate. What Jazz did was put his teammates in danger. And luckily enough, the Red Sox didn't go after him. Any of his teammates. They might be just... Listen, Jazz himself may have to pay the price for that later on. David in Staten Island. David, what's going on?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. I agree that Jazz was padding his stats. There's no question about it. But I think the anger should be directed by the broadcasters as well as anyone towards Boston. It's been alluded to already that teams have come back. The Phillies came back with 6 runs in the ninth inning recently. The Mets scored 7 runs 2 years ago in the ninth inning. You can't come back unless you try. So if Boston was going to wave the white flag, they should have walked off the field, accepted the 7-1.
Well, that's dumb. You know that's not how this works. That's not how this works. The Red Sox did what you do when you're saying to the other team, we're trying to get our outs here. We're going to take the outs.
Why are they quitting? Why are they quitting?
It wasn't quitting. It's saying it's 7-1. We're trading outs for everything else, so we're pulling them off the bag, and you're going to take off and go to second base. That was dumb. Going to third was dumber. Dumb. You're putting the fate of your teammates, whether it's Wells, whether it's Goldschmidt, I guarantee you, Aaron Boone didn't love that. Guarantee it. We can all talk about, like, why would you quit? You're not quitting. You can come back from that. 99% chance up 6 runs in the eighth inning that you're winning the game. 99%. You think it's a good baseball play to go steal second and third there after you walked? Red Sox brought the infield in. Why? Because they're saying, all right, you want to play that way? Let's play that way. And if there's a play at the plate, maybe Rutschman throws a forearm right into Jazz's face. Maybe that happens. And honestly, the Red Sox didn't retaliate against any other teammate. But they were annoyed by it. They were absolutely annoyed by it. Sharky Barnegat up on ESPN New York. Sharky, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, you know you're my guy, but you're all alone on an island on this one. I'm not a Yankee fan or a Chisholm fan. You play the game. Red Sox don't want to hold him on. Steal second base. Play at the plate. I would have loved to see him get smashed with a forearm in the face. You think the Knicks?
Why do you want to see that? Why do you want to see? Why do you want to? Don't please don't. No. Stop with the 29 points against San Antonio. Stop with that crap. Or down 29 against San Antonio. That was the first half. It's not 7-1 in the fourth inning. It's 7-1 in the eighth inning. Stop. It is not the Knicks down 29 against San Antonio. That's the other one I've seen in the chat today. It is not the same thing, guys. You know better than this. At least I thought you did. But, man, you've let me down today. Or maybe I've let you down, but I'm not wrong here. Michael is going to try to convince you that I am wrong. I hope he has a case that will convince me of that in moments. I'm looking forward to hearing it. The Caster next from Anaheim on ESPN New York.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon prescription